And welcome back to our world of For the Wind, where we are hanging out in the land of Orcsylvania. And let's go ahead and introduce our merry band of misfits, starting with Uno.
Uno Mistborn, forgive me if you see me screaming and crying, but all my friends keep leaving and dying.
Oh, there was a new rhyme.
And Dove, you're next.
Hey guys, my name is Dove. I am constantly racked with indecision. All my friends are stuck in a prison.
Issa, go ahead.
Hi guys, my name is Izza. I lost my sister, and now one of the people that was helping me find my sister is stuck in the prison with my sister. It's not going very well, guys. But we're gonna make it.
And of course, Ira, the former Cortinius.
Hey guys, I just met them like 2 days ago, and they all seem really sad, and I'm not really sure what happened, but I think it was bad.
All right, and our group, having just defeated the God of War, has become kind of legendary heroes, and on their journey out of the battlefield, they ended up in the capital city of the Orc Empire. There, they were immediately hailed as heroes and celebrated and asked to fill in as, essentially, senators, governors, with Uno being the one they have chosen to lead the city for his prowess in battle, his negotiation, his tact, his wit. They thought he would be perfect. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into everyone's favorite D&D topic, public administration and tax law.
It's like
Where I
all
think
the
we
memes.
left off last time, you guys were chilling after having breakfast, realizing that Altacles had taken off on a mission. The centaur with the beard of feathers had to leave. And he didn't give you much of an explanation other than a poorly drawn cartoon that had him shaking hands, holding hands, or being a table with flexing arms. Very difficult to tell. But with that, it is, of course, everyone's favorite day, Cort Day. So you have a couple hours before you have to open court for all of your subjects. Until then, is there anything you guys wanted to do?
Can we talk to the people we're defending? Can we do any sort of investigation before the court date?
You can do a little bit of chatting back and forth for investigation, but you all will be serving as lawyers. The legal system in this region is a little either very advanced or very primitive, as the lawyers can also serve as judges. It's just kind of one big legal pool. You'll take on a client, you'll get the client's statements, and then you will argue it with very little additional information. It's not designed to be anything other than whatever the lawyers want, because they feel it would be impractical for a citizen not trained in law to have to defend themselves. So they leave everything up to the lawyers.
And of course, we have extensive training, so
Extensive.
it's going to be great.
I mean,
Yes.
This is what I trained my whole life for, no?
Yeah, I mean, I could do some prep work, but I like to go into things kind of cold, just see the facts as they come out.
Yeah.
But
That's
if
what they
you
teach you
want
when you take the bar around here. Cold lawyering.
Yeah. It's all the rage.
Just take it as it is, let the emotions wash over you, and make a decision just like that.
I just want to let you all know, you were asleep last night. I think Altacles heard, but maybe you too. Hair up. But Izza, Dove, you missed a hell of an epic poem / song.
Oh, it was lovely.
Yeah, I mean, you all came out as heroes at the end of it.
I thought I heard something in my sleep. It was very, very beautiful, but honestly, I went right back to sleep when I was quite exhausted. Are you saying the lovely
Saren?
Lord Saren? Yes, she came by to deliver. I feel bad I was not able to hear it. That was one highlight I was looking forward to.
I could try to stumble my way through it, but it wouldn't do it justice. Maybe she would grace you with a physical copy of it.
That would be wonderful.
I think she did say she's gonna write it down. I don't know.
Well,
I
maybe
think
we'll
she said
hear
no to
it.
pictures, but writing it could be.
Do you think
Maybe
she
we
just
could-
sang it to us, though? I wonder if
We
she
could
spread
make
it
it
around.
A condition in our court that you begin every case with a recitation of that is like our credo.
I mean, you are a lord, Uno. That could be a thing.
That could be a thing. Maybe only the chorus, though? Would it be good to do the whole thing if we're in court proceedings?
Oh yes, the whole
Might
thing
make-
every time.
Might
Yeah,
make
like-
people a bit
like a pledge.
nervous. Oh, like well, that's why
Who
I'd
would
say
be
maybe...
performing it?
Oh, I think everybody who's not a lawyer or a judge would be doing it.
So anyone on trial has to come through and
Yes.
sing our song before the trial.
Yes.
I think that's
Just for
okay.
clarification.
I mean, that's right, Dev. And that's why, I was
getting a
thinking
judgment.
maybe they would just sing like the chorus or the refrain. Unless it was a
That's what
shorter
you call
song than I'm
DMing from the
thinking.
back.
They have to put their hand on a copy of it and raise the other hand
And
recite
sing
to you.
it. Yes.
Look, Dove, they made a huge mistake putting us in charge, so might as well make them suffer for it.
It's their problem now.
This is fair.
What happens if they can't sing it very well?
Oh, and
Point
that's,
for
again where
style.
I'm like thinking maybe we should make it not as the full thing, but like a short part of it. Smaller.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe just
a
like
little bit.
bits about me or something. would be
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, you're the Lord, so why don't they focus on the lines that are all about you?
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll figure it out when we get to the courthouse.
We'll get into it then. Okay.
I think we can work on this. This isn't impossible at all.
So we've got some time here. Did we maybe want to go cash in that chit that we got for some
Oh.
imbuing?
What about clothes? What about getting
Oh,
some
you-
nicer clothes for our
Oh,
court
we
date?
can look so good in court, and we can go get the fancy. They said we could get a magic thing. We could start on
Yeah,
that.
let's get
yeah,
let's
that
get
thing.
out. Got to show up in style. We're going to be
You
like
better
20
not
minutes
put
late.
frills on me. I don't do well with frills or like lace. Don't
How do
well
you do
lace.
with leather?
Love leather. Nala really loved dressing me and Rue up in leather. It was kind of discomforting when we were younger, but now it's fine. I actually quite enjoy it.
I thought so.
Well designed
you?
leather.
Do you not like leather, Dove, or do you prefer leather?
I love leather. My coat's leather.
Oh, okay.
My
Just
hat's
looks-
leather.
Quite well on you.
Well, I didn't know if you want only just had.
No, it's not vegan either.
Well, I wouldn't expect it to be vegan, especially if you were friends with my sister, for heaven's sakes.
I just didn't know if you were wearing that. Like, you chose to wear that, or it's just what you had. I'm sorry.
Made of dragon vegans, yeah.
Nala would do something like that for you if she'd made it,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure my sister made that for you, but either way, that's something she would definitely be interested in.
I mean, there was a time a long time ago when we were gathering supplies because we thought that Nola was going to be with us soon, and we were like, "Oh, Nola, this is what you want when you get out of prison is to do work."
Wasn't
Manual
that
labor.
the pieces of the dragon that we acquired? Do we still have the pieces of the ice dragon that we dismantled initially when we killed it? Those would be great accessories, Uno, for our outfits to really show our prowess, don't you think?
It would be, but here's the problem: like 10,000 gold coins, they're just kind of floating in the astral sea.
I didn't put mine
Did
in
you-
the, I didn't put mine
Did
in
you
the
lose
bag.
them?
Well, all of mine's there.
Oh
I've got
god, you
very
guys
little
put, did we put all of it though? Did I put everything? Hold on. Let me check. Hold on. And Izza starts shoving her hands into her bag trying to dig through and see if she actually saved any of the claws and talons and the teeth.
If it's in your inventory, it's in your inventory. If it's not,
I might have not put it in my inventory because Dove had the inventory. I didn't put it in my inventory because Dove had the inventory. Damn it.
Got a lot of food in there, but that's about it.
Yeah, well, I was making sure we had plenty of rations, which I'll probably
Food and
leave at the-
torches.
I'm gonna actually clear some of that food out. Can I clear out some of that food?
Sure.
I'm just gonna clear out some of that food because I don't need it. Can I get rid of this one?
Okay, let's go get some clothes, guys. Let's go shopping.
Let's do
Yeah, do you like going
a
shopping?
makeover montage.
He just-
Okay, heading to the shopping district.
Izzy's having flashbacks of her time when her sister tried to have her montage with her and dress her in a lot of clothes.
Just
wasn't a
he said
happy
that
time.
he could make something pink for me, and that's a really hard color to get made, especially here in Orcsylvania. They don't really
Have
like
you
it
tried
pink.
eating a lot of shellfish?
Or shrimp. Or oranges.
I don't think that works.
Does that change my clothes?
It changed
I
your
mean,
skin
if-
color.
It
Oh,
could
no.
change your beard.
Do you
Yeah, what?
exclusively eat blue
Insight?
things?
Well, I'm not super blue myself, but I am a little blue, I suppose. I don't really know where the moths come from. I don't know what they are. They're just sort of here.
Are
So-
they everywhere?
What do you mean everywhere?
Well, like, they're kind of around you here, but, like, are they other places too?
It's
Like,
rather
are they
personal
naturally
question.
occurring moths in the wild? Like, we would see moths of this.
Oh, I
color.
thought you meant like, are they places that you can't see?
Oh, I did. That's what I
Is
meant.
that what she meant?
Oh, all right.
I was not thinking that. Different train.
I
of thought.
mean-
Apologies.
Yes. Short answer, yes. They're
Long
everywhere.
answer?
Long answer. I mean, I could list the places that they are, but I don't know if I really we need to go into all of that right now.
Alright.
I've never seen them in the wild, but I did see the old Beastmaster, whatever his name was, back in the Tabasco, covered in bugs and moths and things and butterflies, and thought that was interesting. Seemed like kind of a knockoff, but
Hmm.
you know.
Okay. So we're headed to the
Alright.
clothing district?
Yes.
Alright.
This
Cool.
conversation is going while we're walking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as we're moving.
Ira has no problem walking you guys up to the clothing district, also known as the Strut. Because everyone
Ooh.
struts around up there like they have a stick shoved firmly in their leggings.
But a very fashionable stick.
Very fashionable. It doesn't take you long to find the headmaster, who, of course, greets you in his loud, obnoxious way. Jumbo, my friends, have you decided what you would like to wear?
Did you get my note?
I believe I did. Something to the effect of angry butterflies, if I remember right.
Is that ready, or do I need to wait for it?
No, I will do a bulk order.
Okay.
No.
Is that all you would like for yourself? I could do perhaps a little bit more, like a hat with those little flaps that come down past your ears.
I think I'm good with what I got.
You sure that tricorn hat of yours looks a little old and weathered?
It looks wonderful, but thank you.
Of course, of course. What about the rest of you? Have you decided what sort of fine robes you would like to wear? And where's your horse? I was planning on making him a very fashionable cloak or horse blanket.
He's taking
Oh,
a
he
vacation.
left.
He'll be back.
Getting some air.
Getting some air. Investigating something He's just not here.
Very fair. How is my favorite sword, Jody?
About that. When you were palling around with Geordie, did he like fill you with insatiable bloodlust?
Did. Which is why I only used him once and never again, because it was quite horrible. Although, my other adventuring partner did have a lot of gold, which allowed me to launch part of the shop. So, I have him to thank for some things.
Blood diamonds. All right, Geordie.
Kill them?
And Uno pulls him out.
Yes?
How are you feeling this morning, mate?
Tired.
Yeah. All right.
Could you put Jordy away? Is this gonna start slowly stepping away? I just don't feel comfortable
Yeah.
anymore near you and Jordy, especially when you have Jordy out of Jordy's casing.
We're gonna dispense some justice today, Geordie.
We didn't hear that.
You didn't hear anything?
Alex, what'd you say?
He just whispers, I'm hungry.
Yeah, we all are.
So what can I do for you? Some clothing, something more fashionable than those rags you are wearing.
Yeah,
Kind
it's
of mean.
kind of disgraceful.
A man of your stature should be wearing something more flowy and pronounced.
All right. So here's I don't ask for much. All I want is a very large, very thick, ruffled, maybe diamond encrusted cape. like just so big that it's almost a robe.
Are we talking
you know,
Elvis type cape?
I mean, I don't know who that is, but I'm thinking like you see this from a distance, and you're like, oh shit, this guy is like the king or something. It's big.
Of those, I just do not have the diamonds. Those would cost extra. The clothing I can do, but the stones themselves, they're quite more pricey.
Do you have like cubic zirconium?
Rhinestone?
Yes.
Could
You want
bedazzle it?
cubic bedazzle?
Yeah, you know, just put a little bit of jazzy flair to it.
Ah, you want some flair? We can do some flair all day long. Yes, I will have this made up for you. I'm thinking some fur around the edges, black, long, flowy, something that shines on the edges, no?
Yeah, like iridescent rhinestones or sequins all over it.
Sequin. That will be the command word. No problem, I can do this for you.
Ah, excellent.
What about the others of you? What can I do for you?
Era, you were looking for pink, weren't you?
Yes. Oh, yes. Can I get like? I mean, I need to put it. I want to be able to wear armor over it, but can I get like a pink robe, kind of? That's still flowy, like. And she starts describing a tutu, even though she doesn't know what a tutu is.
Yes, you want a 22. That is no problem. We can do that.
Not like a platter tutu, like a.
Oh, that is a problem. We usually do platter tutus. He says that like he knows exactly what that is. Yes, a pink dress for under your armor. How fashionable that it would hide under the armor.
And then like a little short cloak on top, kind of thing.
And a bathrobe, of course. We call those nightlies. Nighties.
Oh. That's
It'll
not
fit
what I said
perfectly
at
over
all.
your armor. I'll just give you a size large.
That's not what I said at all.
Oh, Era, maybe it would help if you drew it. Do you know how to draw?
You want an undergarment for under your armor, and then a robe for over your armor. All pink.
No. I don't want an undergarment. I want a dress.
Oh, a dress.
Only one. Yeah.
Okay, we can do a pink dress. That is no problem. And a robe, yes?
No, not a robe. A little, like a cape.
A cape.
A cloak that falls down.
Gotcha. So a robe with no armholes. That would be a cloak, yes?
Does this guy know what he's talking about?
I don't know
Can
what
I
I'm talking about.
insight check him? Or does this just
Yeah, go
Alex
ahead and roll
not know
insight.
what
Is
he-
this- is this Alex or the character?
This is just Alex. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes and yes.
Era is specifically trying to describe like a capelet, like think Charles Dickens era, like the little, like 2 foot long ones.
He
that
was
people
actually
wear.
slightly screwing with you, yes.
Okay.
Even though you didn't roll, but yes. We can do that. I'm only having a little bit of the funds with you.
Better
Oh, I had
than
a
a
case
little
of
bit of
buns.
the runs.
Nice one, Doug.
That was
He
quick.
blinks very slowly.
Nice one. So, good sir, I am interested in a full new set of clothing, preferably in black with a dark red, but then I'm also looking for not exactly gold, more of a lighter twilight color.
Silver, of course, yes?
Silver would work, yes.
Yeah, silver would clash beautifully with your scales.
Yes, they are quite white and chromatic, as you can see.
Yes, black, red, and silver. I can already see this coming together. It would be truly magnificent.
Here's the rub. Can you make it mostly leather?
Of course, yes, ideal in leather.
Perfect. Anything, something durable. No offense, but normal clothes, well, my scales wear through them quite easily. It's something that's got a little strength to it that can hold on.
I'll see what I can do. I don't typically deal in things that are quite functional in combat. More fashionable and verbose. Not so much.
This doesn't have to be fully combat functional. This just needs to be that I could keep it and hold on to your work and use it at other events. Not something that will just, I wear it once or twice, and then it just starts falling apart because my scale.
Of course. I understand what you're saying. I'll reinforce the inner lining. No one will see it, and it won't wear with your scales, which are
Perfect.
quite sharp.
Yes, and can you just make it very professional, but also, hugs the body, looks good.
Professional and sexy. That is my business.
Wonderful, thank you.
Oh, can I get a hair bow?
A hair bow.
A pretzel
Yes,
bow on
like
top of your head?
like a ribbon, like a
Like a ribbon?
like a big ribbon I could put in my hair.
Could we just get
I don't usually do that. That would be quite interesting, matching with the pink. I'm up for the challenge. I like this.
Oh, if anyone could do it, surely you can.
No, you're speaking my language. Flattery.
You a fan of gaudy and unreasonable?
Thank you. Of course I am.
Wonderful.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anything else you guys want?
Should
Can
we
I
get
get-
nice clothes?
That's what the
I
first
thought
order
that's what
was.
we were doing.
Yeah, I thought
No,
that
I
was
mean
nice.
like formal clothes.
Thought that's what
Oh,
we
like
did.
fancy clothes.
I mean,
like
this would be like
ballroom
formal,
or
fancy
something?
clothes.
Yeah, what's more formal
But-
than a king?
No, just addition to have them.
So we want
like a
2 sets of formal clothes. The ones we described, and then something that's kind of more generic for the town that we're in. Is that what you're thinking of?
No, I was thinking more of like
a ball.
nice,
gown?
nice. Yeah, nice.
I don't
Like
do
like
gowns.
black tie.
Could I get a dust cape? No, not a dust
A
cape.
duster.
Yes, a duster.
Have a trench coat.
Formal, functional, black, red, and silver, and a duster. You, my friend, have class and style. I
need
like
I
this.
need this in my life. And can you make it to where like the collar, just you can pop the collar to just hide your face occasionally if you really wanted to? But
I can do you one better. You trust me. I will make this the best cloak, the best duster, the best thing you have ever owned. In
Okay.
fact, he stops for a second. I think I may have just the thing. Are you good with jet black?
Of course.
He walks away for a minute, and he comes back very excitedly and goes, "This, my friend, is a gift for you." And he hands you a black leather duster, relatively your size. As you put it on, it changes size slightly, as you can feel there is a very mild magical enchantment on it. As you go to hide your face and pop up the collar, you all hear, as in 30 feet, a sound effect plays, giving you nothing other than the effect of hiding your face.
Amazing.
Is this gonna put the collar down and then she's just gonna
Yeah, every time you do it, when you put the collar down, you just hear.
While he's giving that to Issa, Era's gonna walk over to Uno and just kind of like, do you think we should get something for Altocles so when he comes back, he like a
I'm going to be honest with you.
pants, like a blanket? I don't.
To be honest with you,
I-
Altocles has the greatest sense of style of anyone that I know, and it just comes so naturally to him that I think that anything that we decided for him, it would be a pale imitation of.
Well, he seems really nice. I think he'd like it anyway.
You're right. You're right. Maybe,
Maybe like a
you
cool, like a vest,
said like
so
a
he
nipple
can still
ring.
swing his arms.
Maybe like a sash.
A
Oh.
sash. That's perfect.
Sash. Yes. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What sort of vibe we going for?
Ooh.
I feel like Altocles could appreciate satin.
I was gonna say satin or velvet, like a nice green. It would look really good with his fur.
I feel like the way satin would look when he's running in the wind would be very.
Ooh, like a. What if it had like a vest or something, and it had
No.
fringe, so when he runs, the fringe goes behind him.
Like a sash like around his waist, not around like pageant style.
Oh,
Oh,
I like this
I-
idea of like
oh.
a fringed like vest.
like a jacket or something, so the fringe
Oh, that
goes
would
in
look
the air when he
so
runs.
sweet.
He seems really fast. I think he'd get a lot of use out of it.
Like an acid-washed green leather vest.
I
With
love
fringe.
Suede.
Oh, suede, sorry.
Denim?
This is perfect. No,
Yes, denim. Oh my god, please.
We're making Alticles a hippie vest. I'm sorry, what's happening?
Can we just get him a Canadian tuxedo?
Kyle gets for not being here.
But it has to be denim, and denim's new. Denim's never been done before.
Can it match it? Do we need to make it try to make the fringe match his feathers, or is that not can it just so it doesn't clash?
I mean, that would be.
Era doesn't know the
spectacular.
feathers aren't.
What if instead of fringe you do feathers?
Ooh, both feathers on the end of the fringe.
A feather fringe
With like a little bead?
Yeah,
denim jacket. Yes. Oh,
this is perfect. I think he'd love it.
he's gonna
That
lose
sounds
his
like
shit.
the most horrendous, ugly mess ever.
No, it does not. It's
I'm gonna
amazing.
find pictures for all of these things.
I was
by
going
the
to
way.
say, yeah, someone has to come up with how all the stuff actually looks.
Oh, I'm on it.
Uno's gonna pull the tailor aside and say,
Interest.
I have a request. So I get a lot of comments from especially people who don't really know me about my height. I think I'm a perfectly normal size, but is there any way that you could give me shoes that would make me seem just like a little bit taller?
Yes, they're called lifts. They might
that's a thing?
sometimes make you a little bit slower, though. Let me find you some. And he goes away and he comes back with a shoe. It looks like a normal shoe, except it's a little thinner in the front. It goes up to a smaller area in the back and has a point going straight down. Like you're walking on your tippy toes the whole time, but your calves look banging.
That is exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that it was a thing.
It raises up the heels and makes them higher.
So we call it heel hires.
Indeed, yes.
All right.
All the classiest of men and dwarves are wearing them now.
I have a
Then-
very important question about Alticles' vest. What color are his feathers?
Black?
His feathers
I
are
They're
think-
black?
white. I can't remember.
I thought they were multicolored.
I thought it was.
What color is
Pink.
the horse half of Alticles?
We'll call them
Brown.
green, just because everything he does is green.
He's green.
It may not have ever
green,
been
green,
established.
green.
By the way, can you guys hear this? And is this gonna pop her collar real quick?
Oh shit!
Cool. All right. I think we have our clothes picked out. If you want anything else, go ahead and chat me. So, on to anything else before court. What else you guys want to do? Are you
We
putting
have
in your
to go-
request for said magical item, Uno?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, did you ever decide what magical item we were gonna do?
He did.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Said request is sent in by courier. Are you guys going to the courthouse to begin your day of legalese?
Oh boy.
I mean,
I guess
we
so.
look so dang
Are
good.
we, are we
right
all
now.
dressed out in our new threads?
No. That'll take a
Oh.
few days to create.
I still got my.
So right now
duster,
you're going
right?
as poppers.
We feel so good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going very functional.
I'm very excited for this.
I've got my
this
duster and I'm having fun with it.
Okay. Heading over to the courthouse. It is actually just in front of your keep. And as you guys go to one of the guard towers of your keep, people start crowding around as your district is too poor to have a dedicated courthouse. So you guys are up like 15, 20 feet. You know, it's not really like a guard tower, but it's kind of a guard tower. And there's a little gavel there, and it's cute. But when you slam it down, it squeaks. So, yeah, some actual upgrades are in order. As people start crowding around, you hear the commoners crowding around your keep, and there's a couple dozen of them, and the sound of them kind of murmuring, and just the rabble, 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 rabble is kind of heard from all around you in a semicircle. And after a little while, one person steps forward and says, "Welcome all of you to the day of court here in Dune K, the district here in Orcsylvania. Today, we will start the proceedings with, of course, our favorite news from around the world. In an interesting turn of events, the leader, who known as the Southern Commander, General, Sorcerer, God of Men, Flint the Great, has declared a moratorium on technology in Dagnar, City of Dwarves. As well, others are coming to his aid. It seems the Technomanokamacree, as he's trying to read off his paper, is not in favor of this, and they have ordered sanctions on all dwarves. No dwarves of magical origin should be allowed in any city, or they could be at odds with the people in the north. Beware, all of you. They are taking a hard line. People kind of rabble, very confused, and one dwarf is pushed around. He's like, I have no idea what any of that stuff is. I've lived here for years. And people kind of laugh for a second. In other news, the Hardlands, the region just to our east, is burning. Several armies, groups of the undead, have been attacking. They are calling for aid. There will be a referendum in 2 days here in Orcsylvania, where our esteemed leader, Uno, will be voting on what we should do with the rest of the party leaders. In other news, the God of War, Tempest, has been defeated by our own esteemed group here. We should be lucky that they are here to protect us. And in other news, we hear from the worlds of the Fae. There is much trouble. It is possible the worlds themselves are collapsing. Refugees are pouring in from unknown locations. If you see them, beware. These people are desperate and possibly dangerous. And with that, you hear people rabble, kind of talking amongst themselves. Today in court, we will hear, of course, the first case of Little Susie versus Farmer Maxwell. For the lawyers of Little Susie and Farmer Maxwell, please step forward.
Oh, it's me. Hello.
And the person down in the court says, yes, and you are. Please introduce yourself and tell us your client.
Hi, I'm Era, and I will be representing little Susie today in her case against Farmer Maxwell.
And who will be representing Farmer Maxwell?
Uno strides forward, whips off his sunglasses that he got from the goblin, and says, "It's just your lord and savior, Uno."
I like to imagine they're goblin-sized sunglasses, so they only sit.
That's a golf
Like
clap.
The pence, yeah. Pince nez.
And on this one, we will have two judges. Judges, what are your names?
Dove.
Ilsa.
Isa and Dove. Wait, are you Dove from the song?
No, I get mistaken much.
Oh, sorry. I heard you blew the demon away. Sorry.
They've-
So, in this court, Susie, an orphan who lives here in Dune Cay with her aunt, alleges that she is a small sharecropper raising pigs and has little but a subsistence garden to herself. The garden doesn't grow much due to polluted water. Her aunt works extremely hard but can't keep up with the chores and has taken little Susie and another child in when the parents were lost in the fabled Battle of the Bubble against the undead. The children are not paid much, and Susie does not have much money at all. She doesn't even have enough to pay the repair bill on her doll, and her aunt could not even appear today in court. Susie alleges Farmer Maxwell damaged and nearly destroyed her doll. She was forced to pay for its reconstruction 10 gold that she cannot afford. Susie asks 10 damages for the doll, and 100 damages for lost wages and work, and 200 gold in emotional damages. Lawyer for Susie, step forward and argue Susie's case, please. Don't read it.
Okay.
Do we get to make opening statements?
Opening statements. Go ahead and summarize your case.
All right. Yes. So, this is not just any doll. This doll is very precious to little Susie and also very necessary for their farm. You see, it previously, before it was so heinously destroyed, was a magic doll, and it protected little Susie and it helped protect their farm. And since it's been destroyed, they've had a massive drop in production, causing loss of wages, and hence the 100 gold request for that. Susie wants this money to make sure that she can get the doll repaired and to make up for the lost wages caused by this senseless destruction of such a valuable item.
Opening statements complete. Farmer Maxwell's lawyer, please step forward.
Real quick to clarify, Alex, there's no jury, right? It's just the judges.
No, it's just the judges, and the judges will decide on anything. They have absolute control.
Good.
All right. So today, we're going to be faced with a decision. Now, the prosecution, my esteemed colleague, is going to try to convince you of various so-called facts. But let's begin with the facts. The judges before us today, and hell, all of the orcs and dwarves that I see gathered here today are some pretty good-looking people. I find it quite the compelling case against my opponent that she didn't bring that up. Does she not think that you're beautiful? Clearly, we cannot trust her judgment. But beyond that, are you going to take the word of someone who's been milling about amongst your ranks for who knows how long now and never defeated a god? Are you going to take the word of your good friend Uno? Fact number 2. Anyway, it's cut and dry, clear as day, black and white, what's going on here. This is a case of extortion. Not by little Susie, but, of course, by the demonic, yes I say demonic, doll that attempted to possess her and persuade her to do unspeakable acts. It was an act of mercy, justice, really, for Farmer Maxwell to step in and save little Susie from the dereliction of duty that her aunt performed by not showing up and spending the time or money necessary to defend her. I will prove to you today that not only should Farmer Maxwell not have to pay any damages, but that little Susie's aunt should pay damages to him. I look forward to see what we come up with.
Wow.
Okay.
We're already
Okay.
having fun.
That's how we're playing this, Uno. All right.
Okay.
No one was playing it.
Keep it going. Let's see.
You will now get a chance to cross-examine each other. It'll be 1 question apiece for 3 questions. Ira starts off asking Uno 1 question. Uno will then respond, asking Ira 1 question. You will go for 3 questions each, and then the judges, and then closing remarks, and then the judges will have a chance to ask 1 or 2 questions each, if they choose.
Uno, you're claiming that your client should be rewarded for saving little Susie from this, quote, demonic doll. Is that true?
Absolutely.
So you're admitting your client damaged the doll on purpose?
I'm sorry. Is that true would be 1 question.
Oh, you... What I said at the end wasn't technically a question.
Now, it is your first time in court. I will allow it. This 1 time.
So you're admitting that the farmer damaged the doll on purpose. Nothing further.
Yes, but I would like to add that if I were to damage a dog that was rabid, am I to pay damages for it? No. Just as Farmer Maxwell should not pay damages for damaging this rabid demonic doll.
Oh, you may ask 1 question to Ira.
Ira, your client being a child, are we to trust her judgments over that of a respected member of the community in Farmer Maxwell?
My client might be a child. She is still a member of this community and a productive one, or at least she was until her ability to be productive was severely limited by the actions of your client.
Thank you.
Ira, you may ask a question to Uno.
Since you seem so willing to play upon your relationship with the judges and talk about past actions, should we really be that interested in your judgment when less than 12 hours ago you were wallowing in grief over the loss of multiple friends?
This is a bit of a low blow.
You're gonna attack the judge, not the client. I love it.
Now, some might say that showing emotion is a sign of weakness, but I like to believe that without emotion, well, we're no better than the demonic dolls that are trying to destroy us. So, yes, I feel strongly, I feel fiercely, but that only makes my judgment more sound because it makes me more connected to people. Alright, so...
Uno, go ahead.
Not going to stoop to ad hominems here, but maybe I already did. Who's to say?
What, you don't know what that is?
No.
Please keep all responses to the case. Okay? We don't need you going off tangent, Uno. Focus on your next question, please.
Apologies, esteemed judge. Now, can you, from your client's testimony, describe what sorts of things the doll was instructing little Susie to do, or saying to her?
Absolutely. He was encouraging Susie when she was sad. He was defending her he was defending her garden from the rodents that were trying to eat the produce. And he was helping her feel safe by helping her feel more productive and contributing to her family.
Thank you.
Ira, you have one question left.
Uno, can you offer any sort of evidence to support the outrageous claims the farmer is making that this doll is demonic?
I certainly can, and I will begin laying out what I have received as information, and that is, firstly, the doll came to life when little Susie wished upon a red star, and the sky laughed a demonic laugh that felt a cold across the lands. Beyond that, Farmer Maxwell has heard of the doll on more than one occasion with its dead eyes, mouth, "I'm going to kill you." Beyond that, when the doll speaks, it sounds like a sick cat gargling loose teeth, and says things that no one with goodness in their soul would dare repeat. Beyond that, Farmer Maxwell has seen the doll eat a live bunny, which you may claim as a pest, but then lick up the blood. Quite strange. And of course has tried to bite Farmer Maxwell. But beyond that, the nastiness that the doll is whispering into the girl's ears, trying to lead her down a dark path of evil by instructing how to make poisons, gather sharp objects, build nefarious traps, and ultimately doing everything it can to corrupt her soul. And we must defend the innocents.
Uno, I believe it is your final question to Ira.
Era? Are we going to still be friends after this?
I hope so.
Please
Alright.
make sure that all questions pertain to the case, okay? We're not...
I mean, that does pertain to the case, Judge.
No,
Move to
no.
strike!
I strike that from the record. Moving to strike.
Objection!
Oh, I think it's perfectly relevant.
Objecting to your own question?
No, I'm objecting to the ruling of the judge.
Fair.
Rude.
We can do that. Oh,
By the way, can
I didn't
anybody
even-
hear my squeaky hammer?
No.
I can't.
Dang. I can. And it's making me happy.
Okay. With that, I guess we can move to closing arguments. Uno, you will go first.
I believe that We've heard some powerful testimonies today. And I know that it's easy to look upon little Susie with sympathy in your heart for the wrong that she feels has been done to her. But children do not always understand the full gravity of the situation that surrounds them. They are not fully developed. Farmer Maxwell is privy to information that is just beyond little Susie's comprehension. And with this information, we can say without a shadow of a doubt that the doll in question was destroyed for the safety of little Susie and everyone around her who she might harm is direct consequence of that contact. So, if there is anything to be paid, it is, I could concede, and my client would concede, to 10 gold to repair or buy a new doll, not repair this one, it's rubbish. But beyond that, Farmer Maxwell's a hero. And heroes should not pay for lost money or emotional damages when they have prevented even greater losses and damages. I'll rest my case. Thank you. Uno out.
He finds a mic and drops it. Ida, closing statement.
Uno, judges, whoever else is listening right now. I would love to argue that this is more a case of a simple farmer not necessarily recognizing magic for what it is and equating it for demonic activity. See, he claimed that he heard the doll mouth, "I'm going to kill you," but mouthing words doesn't make noise. He's possibly also not a very good farmer, so we maybe shouldn't follow his judgment very well if he thinks bunnies are good for crops and is upset that the doll killed one in the garden. I would also like to point out that his claims of it licking up the blood, that could be a form of cleaning to help Susie and her family. It could also be just not being wasteful. I mean, resources are scarce. We know they don't have a lot to support the family. We don't know what the doll eats. And if we're going to really start throwing stones about sources of magic, I think that everyone in this room should be more worried than little Susie and her doll. So
Closing statement's complete.
Once again, I think we have a farmer who is afraid of the unknown, claiming magic to be demonic activity and not wanting to pay for the consequences of his actions here. Thank you.
Okay, closing remarks complete. Judges, you may ask 1 or 2 questions of either person. Combine.
So one question each.
Basically.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking, Dove?
You don't have to.
We're talking to each other about it first.
That's
before we
fair,
ask
that's
our
fair.
questions.
I have no idea. I already know how I feel about it.
Okay, so if you're ready to rule, are you ready to rule, Issa?
Well, no, I would like to hear how Dove's feeling, because I feel one way about it, and I already have an idea of how this should go. And
So you guys will get a chance to discuss just you, but do you want to ask any cross-examination questions?
I'll ask one, I suppose. Uno, your client has made very interesting claims of demonic activity and has cited at least 2 incidents. Do you happen to have the time frame these incidents were cited from your client, and if there were more than just those 2?
That is information that at the present time I'm not currently privy to, but I imagine if we sat down and got a piece of parchment out, we could track the timeline. That it sounds like things just gradually escalated from threats to then, of course, the ungodly sounds that it was making, killing and eating the bunny and licking up its blood, and then, of course, instructing Susie how to kill and corrupting her.
Thank you. Dove, do you have a question?
No, I'm good.
Okay, before you make your ruling again, Susie is requesting 10 gold for repairs to the doll, 100 gold for lost wages, which that would be a full season of crops, 100 gold, and 200 gold for emotional damages. The average person makes about 10 gold per week. So if you have a ruling, Issa and Dove, go ahead and either discuss for a couple of minutes or hand down your ruling.
Dove, what are your thoughts?
I say we rule in favor of the farmer, but reward damages for loss of doll and nothing more.
I am agreeing with you. I also feel, though, that there should be more than just loss of doll, that there should be an additional at least 10 to 20 added, as the situation is quite severe, and it seems that little Susie and her family are quite suffering, and the farmer has issued an emotional blow to a child.
If we're gonna dip into that pot, I think then we should also charge little Susie's aunt with child labor and extortion of the child.
Child
While we're
labor
at
is
it.
not against the law this time. So.
Yeah.
Do we know if child
To be
labor
fair,
is a problem
it
here?
is not against the law if it's your child.
And she
To be
did adopt
fair,
and take
she's
them on.
intaking wards to work and then can't even show up here to court case. That
I would not hold that against her.
I would.
So, what are you thinking then? And besides 10, I feel like the child deserves at least 20 at the minimum, preferably 30 or 40.
The child deserves to be removed from her home and placed in a better home, but no,
is
I wouldn't
impossible.
reward her lost wages because she had a demonic possessed doll that got murdered.
There's no proof that there was an actual
Oh,
possession.
you know what? I almost forgot. A piece of evidence was entered
Ooh.
into.
Wow.
What's the evidence?
Yeah, this is the evidence. It's a receipt from the doll repairman. 1 gold in parts for performing the repair job. 4 gold in bandages, and 2 days of
Okay.
lost work after being bitten by the doll, and 5 gold for the
That would
healing
help.
spell.
Yeah.
And we have a chance to include that in our arguments.
Discovery.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's my first time running a court case. My mistake.
Go ahead, Uno.
No, I mean, I just think that speaks for itself, you know. The doll not only attempted to bite Farmer Maxwell and threatened to kill and eat a bunny, but it also bit the repairman. So, you know,
Well, that does speak for itself.
if the mouth fits, you cannot acquit. Or you must acquit. I don't know, something.
If the mouth bit, you
If
must.
the mouth bit, you.
Let's to quit. Yes,
Oh.
that sounds well.
I
you
would
know.
just like to point out that I think at one point or another we've all been in the presence of a wounded animal of some kind, and while we recognize this doll has some amount of life, we don't know its level of intelligence, and it was already attacked by one person and brought to another. I mean, surely you've seen an injured cat or dog bite a hand trying to help it. Doesn't necessarily know they're trying to help at the time. Doesn't mean the dog is demonic. Just means
That's a
it's
good point.
scared.
It means
There's-
the dog is a dog, not a possessed doll.
Yes, but it's not the first time you've seen something odd that's been bound in cloth and fluffy innards.
I don't know how to answer that.
It's not my.
Kira, I just want to say you're doing a great job. You'd make a good lawyer.
Thank you.
All right, Dev. I think at least 15 gold should be awarded to the child. Obviously, 10 for recovering and 5 just for emotional damage of having watched her doll be destroyed. Honestly, that's traumatic for a child. I should know my siblings cried way too much when something was ripped apart. above the stairs.
Yeah, but if we start doing emotional damages for someone doing a good thing, how much emotional
But how can
damages
you
are
claim
we
that it
going to
was
have to
truly a
start
good
paying
thing?
out every time we kill someone for someone? And they're like, oh no, you killed my husband. Okay, sorry, but he killed like 5 people, so we had to take care of him.
Fine.
I mean, we can award it, but
I mean, we can award it. We don't have to say that it's for emotional damages. We can just say 15 will be awarded to the child for the whole proceedings.
Yeah.
I mean,
goodwill.
15 for the whole process is definitely something worth it. And the fact that the doll is repaired.
I don't
child
think he'll
should be
have a
taken.
problem paying that.
Yes, I think it would be alright. So, are we decided?
Yeah.
And I think
Can
we
I
should-
confirm? 15 gold to Farmer Maxwell.
15 gold from Farmer Maxwell.
Farmer
to
Maxwell
little Susie.
to Susie, but we are ruling in Farmer Maxwell's favor.
Correct.
Kind of.
No.
No,
Gold.
that's wrong.
Also,
Farmer
I know.
will be paying 15 gold to little Susie for the destruction of the doll.
Okay.
And he will
I'll
no
call the
longer. He
Call
will
the
no-
doll to the stand.
He will no longer concern himself with little Susie and her aunt and the doll.
The court adjourn, or yeah, case complete. After the case, someone goes, "Oh no! There's a piece of news. It's something you must know immediately. It cannot wait." The bailiff and the person organizing the crowd goes, "Very well, step forward." He goes, "Mr. Uno, my name is Mr. Grabbacarrier. I'm a Knoll and a statesman. As much as possible, I try. I have terrible news for you. I am requesting 200 gold from district funds to fund 2 hunters, Gretzel and Hettel. They must hunt down. I regret to inform you, there is news of a... And I've seen this myself! It was rabid, I tell you. There was a plague upon us. A centaur. It was rabid. Had foam coming down. It was magical foam of some kind. It attacked me in the night, running through my field, destroying 2 fences.
You alright? No. And here's why. I'm just going to tell you. That rabid centaur is actually one of us. That's not foam, that is a beard. He's got a beard of feathers. And, I mean, it saddens me that you didn't get to see him in his full regalia, because he's got a vest coming that's just going to be super sick. If you saw him wearing that while he was running through your fence, you would know he means you no harm. He was actually on his way to go, finish what we started, with killing the gods. So, I mean, I could kick you 5 gold from my own funds for the repair to your fences, but we don't need to hunt anybody.
5 gold to a fervor. Yes, I accept. Sorry for everyone. Sorry. Thank you. Yes.
Justice
served.
Era walks over and just offers to shake hands with Uno and says, "That was really well done. That was fun."
Oh yeah, no, that was fun. I didn't know what I was doing, but it was good.
Iza steps off the platform and looks at Uno and says, Are you using your own gold, or are you using the administration for gold? And do you need me to lend you 5 gold?
No, I'll use my own.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I mean, we have plenty
Okay.
of gold right now for the administration, considering how much they gave us. If we're using
Can I
it
say
for that.
can I say something to you three? I think I need to retire from this lawyering lifestyle. I mean, it took a lot out of me. It was a lot.
You want to be the judge?
Can
can
we
we
do that? Can we
swap?
just swap?
Yeah, let's swap it around. Let's do that. Just so fine. Go sit up there. Have a glass of wine. There's a really nice Cabernet. I've been enjoying it. I think you might have it. It's very nice. Grapey.
Thank you.
Sounds perfect.
Wonderful. Dove, you ready for this?
Era fully climbs into the chair and tucks her feet up like a little kid. Holds cup.
Hey guys, shall we move on to our next case?
Yes, that's fine.
Yes.
Yes, that's not a problem.
Okay. So, case SKK 1573 DUNCE 0503. The destruction of chickens, farms, and all chickens. Mr. Sanders, Farmer Sanders, states, deep in the night, Jacob, a neighboring farmer, attacked and killed the chickens in his farm. Many of them were eaten, but some were similarly slaughtered. Now, all of the chickens are dead. The defendant, Jacob, alleges he was under a curse spell brought on by Slug, a goblin demon of the grove. Slug states, this is justice for past transgressions. Justice is served. Mr. Sanders, Farmer Sanders, asks 100 gold for the replacement of chickens and for the losses to his crop for this year. He hands in receipts for the chickens of 25 gold and his last crop being 75 gold, stating this is a fair price. One of the defendants, Slug, hands in a receipt. It's a mostly eaten tomato. It's kind of moldy. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. It's not much of a receipt. In any case, Farmer Sanders states that damages should be paid. Jacob states he does not have the money. Slug says he does not deal in gold. That is primitive. Opening statements will begin with Farmer Sanders. Who is Farmer Sanders' lawyer?
Issa.
No, I'm Jacob's lawyer.
No.
Or, according to mine, I'm Jacob's lawyer, unless I'm Farmer Sanders' lawyer. Did that
I think
change?
you're Sanders. I think it's Sanders versus Slug.
I thought it
Shit,
was-
did I give you the wrong one?
I was given Jacob's information.
I think there's 3 people in this one.
Yeah,
so-
Yeah.
Am I
people.
doing Jacob?
See, someone
and
got
Sanders?
Slug.
Are Slug and Jacob on the same
Oh, I guess I never
side
gave...
versus?
It's
Am
when
I
y'all
Sanders?
changed that I got confused. You good
Okay.
being Sanders, Issa?
I can be Sanders or Jacob, or I can be both. Technically, I can work both sides, and Dove can work one side. I don't mind.
I'm playing both sides.
Yeah.
It's 3 sides.
Ira, are you good being Sanders?
Oh, sure.
Okay,
only have
we'll
one
come back
judge.
to you. In that case, we'll start off with Farmer Jacob. Farmer Jacob, please begin your opening argument. Farmer Jacob alleges innocence and should not pay anything.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lord Uno, our judge, we thank you for being here today because this has been a grievous error toward your farmer Jacob. He's being accused of a crime that he has no knowledge of. He did not commit. Farmer Sanders is accusing Jacob of destroying his his chickens, and thus causing him loss in revenue. Where Farmer Jacob did not do such a thing. He does not even remember the night in question. He was at home the last he remembers, and he woke up at home. Farmer Jacob swore a deal with Slug. Slug, who we know does not deal in gold. The tomato we have here as evidence as part of this process. Slug built a contract with Mr. Jacob to assist him in improving his crops and making sure that he had fresh water and would be able to make more of his farm than what he has been. And he has been grievously erred against. We must understand that the true criminal in this situation is Mr. Slug. Mr. Jacob is just an innocent trying to continue on living on his farm with polluted water. End opening statement.
Dove, as you are representing Mr. Sorcerer, demonic being, creature, slug,
Slug.
Just
what
Slug.
is just slug?
Just Slug.
No title needed, slug.
Unless it's Slug the Great.
No title needed, slug.
I don't have any fancy words for you today, folks. I just have facts. My client made an agreement with Farmer Jacob. He fulfilled his agreement with Farmer Jacob. Farmer Jacob got what he asked for. Farmer Jacob asked that the chickens no longer be polluting his fields. The chickens are no longer polluting his fields. Granted, there may have been some magic involved in that, but it was by Jacob's own hands that the chickens were slaughtered, not by my clients. I don't think I need to say anything more with that.
Ira, are you prepared or do you need a short recess as I dropped a lot on you?
No, let's go.
Okay. Ira, as you are representing Farmer Farmer Sanders, would you please begin your opening statement?
Happily. I'm glad my friend Dove here pointed out we're just going to deal with facts today. So she even admitted the fact is that magic was involved and Jacob was unwittingly forced to take away his quote-unquote problem of the chickens. I would like to offer an analogy for the judge here. If someone cuts down a tree, you don't blame the axe, you blame the person wielding it. Someone burns a house down, you don't blame the fire, you blame the one that set it. Slug has unfortunately got a lawyer who already admitted that he caused this, so I don't really see why we're still here. That's all.
Okay. You guys may begin cross-examination, starting with Issa. You're allowed to ask 3 questions. So you can ask them to either one of them, or if it's very short, you could ask it to both of them.
Gotcha.
Actually, no. You can only ask it to one of them apiece. You get 3.
Okay.
Yeah, because that'll take way too long.
Okay. So 3 questions, and I can either ask Ira or Dove, depending on the situation. Okay. Dove. You've admitted it. By twisting words. Farmer Jacob's request was to assist him with cleaner water so that his crops would be better. That is a fact, as you seem to want to focus on facts. Slug's words were to Farmer
Is that a
Jacob.
question? Hold on.
It's not a
Is
question.
it-
I'm waiting for the question in here.
I need you to
I'm
get
not
the
done yet.
question.
I haven't.
We
had
need a question.
yet. I'm working on my question. Would you let me
No,
continue to
but-
work
you're
on my
making
question?
you're making a statement. You need to ask the question, please.
I am working through my question. You're not letting me finish.
The judge will find you both in contempt if you don't get to the question, and you will if you don't stop badgering the defense.
Dove, did Slug not say those chickens would not pollute the water by the end of Saloon? Is that correct?
It is my understanding that Farmer Jacob asked for those chickens to no longer pollute his field.
I'm asking, did Slug state to Farmer Jacob those chickens would not pollute the water by the end of the full moon?
My client has not discussed that with me, so I don't know if he stated that to Jacob or not.
Then you can neither confirm nor deny that that was the bargain between Mr. Jacob and Mr. Slug. Thank you,
That
is
was
all.
not the bargain.
And I didn't ask you a question. That was just me stating a question. It wasn't an actual
I
question.
was answering the question.
You
answered that question.
editorializing?
That is all. Where did Alex
have-
go?
You have two more. You have 2 more questions, Isa.
Oh, I thought we were doing a rotation. Are we not doing a rotation like last time?
I don't know. He said you have 3.
I would assume.
Yeah, he's back. Maybe.
I don't know. Is he back? Hi, are you back?
Sorry about that, little one.
Okay.
Who's asking the next question?
Oh, it'll just go to Dove, and we'll keep the same order.
Okay. I'm going to ask Isa a question.
No problem.
Isa, if you were to wish for something and you got what you wished for, would you blame the person granting your wish, or would you blame yourself if it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to?
I would blame the person the agreement was struck with if it was not turning out the way the request was made.
Or is it? I
I
thought
answered the question.
Era had a chance to.
That
finish.
it does, but is that a satisfactory answer, Judge?
It satisfies me.
Okay. Ira, you have a question.
Oh boy. Isa, if you could, please. Your client, Mr. Jacobs. Jacobs? I don't know.
Farmer Jacob. Yes.
Farmer Jacob claims to have made an agreement with Slug of no title. Can you please iterate for the court the exact wording of that agreement?
Mr. Jacob had a deal with Mr. Slug to help his crops, asking for cleaner water.
No,
Mr.
not the summary, the exact wording.
That is it. Mr. Jacob asked Mr. Slug for cleaner water to assist with his crops.
Question and answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question.
Isa's turn. Isa.
Back to counsel for Farmer Jacob.
Ira, Is it true that Farmer Sanders is providing Farmer Jacob with polluted water for his crops as he is closer to the river?
Well, I would say no, the river is providing him with water.
Okay. Dove, it's your turn.
Okay. Issa. Did your client seek out my client, or did my client seek out your client to victimize them?
My client did not state who stepped forward to hash an agreement. Only what was clearly stated was that a deal was cut. No instigator was given to me. Ira, your turn.
Dove, could you clarify possibly for me? Do you consider chickens to be grown or hatched?
I'm Are you asking me personally?
I'm asking for your, I suppose, legal opinion.
If chickens are grown or hatched?
Specifically grown from the land or not?
Are
Are they hatched?
They're hatched.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I think we've heard about enough of questioning, cross-examination.
That was only 2 each, wasn't it?
I thought that was 3. Was I wrong?
That was 3.
Are we doing 3
Or
questions?
Was it?
That was 2 each.
Was it?
It was 2 each. I thought we were doing 2.
Okay.
We can do 3, I guess.
We could stick with 2.
Questions of substance.
We said 3 to start, so.
Yeah, I thought we did 3. Was I wrong?
I've got a short attention span.
I mean, if the judge feels that this is enough and he is ready to deliver a verdict, I am all right.
Oh,
with
I'm not nearly ready to deliver a verdict. I
You
need to
get
hear
closing statements.
closing
We do need to have
statements.
closing statements. So, are we doing closing statements or questions, Judge? Lord Uno?
Do any of you have pressing questions that you think are going to sway my opinion in this matter?
Not at this time.
Why is Alex saying yes?
He's up there like,
It's just a very judgy way to do it. I loved it. That was great.
Then we will move on to closing statements. We will begin with Dove.
Okay. My client is an innocent bystander in all of this. Truly, truly is. He was sought out by Farmer Jacob as a solution to his long-standing disagreement with this other farmer. Slug had nothing to do with it. He simply asked him to take care of those chickens so that they would not pollute his field. He wished for this agreement, and he didn't specify, he didn't terms and agreements, and I'm sure we all know when you make a deal with the Fae that those things are very important. The magic that was placed upon Farmer Jacob only brought out his own innermost thoughts, wants, and desires. And he acted upon those wants, thoughts, and desires when he proceeded to end the chickens. My client did none of that. Slug's a bystander in this.
Thank you, Dove. We'll hear the response then from you, Izza.
thank you, Lord Uno. I will go ahead and state that Dove is terribly wrong about the whole situation, and the fact that she's lying continuously throughout this whole procedure is quite discerning. A deal was struck is the only true thing that she said this whole time. Mr. Slug was paid by Mr. Jacob to assist in helping him with his farm with unpolluted water. Violence was not requested. No, the terms were clear. The water was polluted, and he needed assistance to make sure his crops were better. Mr. Jacob is very sorry and would never condone violence against his fellow farmer, Mr. Sanders. They've worked together for many years, and yes, everyone has minor disagreements at times, but in no way would Mr. Jacob ever hurt Mr. Sanders. They share a common goal: better crops. They wish to make the right money for the land that they have. Mr. Slug was paid exactly what he was requested, but he did not deliver. Instead, he forced something upon Mr. Jacob, which he does not even remember. But the results were clear, that the chickens were murdered by the hand of Mr. Slug. By the tool that was Mr. Jacob. Mr. Jacob feels very sorry for Mr. Sanders and would continue to work with him and wishes for this relationship to still be good and strong. Mr. Slug is at fault here in this situation. That is all.
Thank you, Isa. Hera, when you are ready.
I'd like to start by thanking Council Dove for pointing out the finer points of Bay agreements and how wording is important and understanding outcomes is important. See, Mr. Slug made a similar deal with my client years ago when he helped him get this land, and was rather unhappy with the outcome of his demand for half of his chickens the night before they were all killed by Mr. Slug's magic effect on Mr. Jacobs. See, my client doesn't particularly care who gives the money, but I am arguing that Mr. Slug is responsible, as he made a deal for exactly half of what my client grew upon the land after 5 years of farming, and Slug's own counsel has admitted chickens don't grow, and my client owed nothing to Slug 5 years after having a very successful time farming. When Mr. Slug came demanding and was turned down empty-handed, that's when his magic affected Jacob and ruined my client's farm. I think we can all see a very clear revenge for perhaps a poorly worded deal not going so well for Mr. Slug. If we're going to support that logic, then Mr. Slug is at fault for his own wrongdoing here, and I would request the money come from him to support my client rebuilding his farm. That's all.
Thank you very much, Ira. Council, you have done an excellent job this afternoon, but I do have just a few questions before I proceed with my judgment. I'll begin with you, Ira. Why were Mr. Forgot his name. Sanders?
Sanders.
Yeah.
Why did he allow his chickens to pollute a common water source?
I don't so much as say he'd allow them, as chickens have to defecate somewhere, and his land happened to be near a water source.
Okay, thank you. Duff, did Slug the Great, as you've dubbed him, did he make the agreement with Mr. Jacob in good faith?
The agreement with Mr. Jacob in good faith. I don't know what you mean by in good faith.
Did he make the agreement with the intent of delivering what he promised, or was there an ulterior motive behind his side of the agreement?
No, I mean, he made the agreement to solve the problem of the chickens for 1 tomato. I mean, we have the receipt of that.
Thank you very much. And Izza,
Yes, Lord Uno.
did Jacob make the agreement with Slug of his own recognizance?
I would say that Mr. Jacob was pressured into making a deal with Slug, crying for help as his crops were being affected.
Objection.
Counsel?
Mr. Jacob's own shortcomings as a farmer are not necessarily pressure to seek out potentially demonic, potentially
Objection.
Oh, we're getting to a good old mudsling. Let's hear the other things. Come on, let's hear it.
well,
Mr.
this
Jacob,
court's already
You
recognized.
don't throw around slurs about people that you have no backing of.
Well, you
Sustained.
didn't mind it in the last case.
Oh, I was a judge.
Yes, and you had no problem with it.
This is
Ah,
true.
sustained.
Farmer Sanders' counsel has already admitted that he was aware that the chickens were defecating in the water.
Yes, chickens poop. It happens everywhere.
Understandable.
And that's
The
an
water-
unavoidable impact of nature.
It can be avoided, though. It's not truly unavoidable. You know anything
I mean,
about
it'd be
farmers.
avoidable if Farmer Sanders was forced to move his land.
Counsel error. All right. Now, the question originally for you was, did Jacob make this agreement of his own recognizance? You said that he was pressured into it because of his financial hardships.
Yes.
I think I have all of the information that I need to make a judgment. And I just want to say, this is not easy. This is a complicated web that you've woven. There's three people to consider here. There's the three sides of the story. And y'all did great. I just want to say that.
Thank you, Lord Jake.
My one complaint for all of you is that there was not of the judge. So next time, consider that. That might help yourself. In the case of Master Slug, you did. You were the only one that really tried. I appreciate that. In the case of Mr. Slug the Great, it is clear to me, without any written contract available, that we must assume that the contract that was presented between the two of them was of mutually agreeable terms, and that because nobody forced Jacob to seek out this magical intervention, and the fact that he was dealing with magic that is unpredictable in nature, that he assumes the responsibility for the potential unintended side effects or consequences of wish magic. So I rule in favor of Slug in his defense. However, there is then the matter of who's at fault here with the chickens and the defecation and the water and the death. Now, it is clear that Farmer Sanders has been wronged in that his chickens have been killed. And we've already established that Jacob knowingly entered a contract without perhaps fully understanding the ramifications of that contract, but entered the contract nonetheless. However, there is something to be said about the responsibility of Farmer Sanders to make sure that his chickens, his chooks, are not polluting a common water source. So, I am ordering Farmer Sanders to build a fence to keep his chickens away from the river so that future water sources will not be contaminated, and Farmer Jacob to pay what were they asking for in damages? 75 golds?
100
if
gold.
They were asking.
100
Sorry, I
gold.
didn't mean to clear it. It was 100 gold total. That's the cost of his last crop of chickens was 75 gold. That would have been his revenue. The cost of actually replacing the chickens for the season would be 25 gold. So it's 25 gold to actually replace them, and then their value would have been an additional 75 gold, 100 total.
Excellent. For 100 gold, and if he is unable to pay said funds, then he will pay them in labor for his competitor.
And everyone in the crowd just goes, "Ah, rabble, 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 rabble." But they seem okay with it, as it is a very clear ruling. Very impressive, Uno. And actually, that was a great case for all of you. Very impressive.
That one was really interesting, since there was, three ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
So many pieces, so little time to
So
read.
many pieces and so little time to truly argue the fact. Oh, that's alright.
Oh,
you
yeah,
would
no,
like.
no.
I
You all
wasn't
made really
sure.
good arguments.
I wasn't sure if you would like it. I did have another one of a bar fight gone wrong. If you guys like to do one more, or we could move into other stuff.
Don't we have the murder still, or no?
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is a day of court administration.
I think Uno's gonna need at least a
Judged
recess.
out. Cool.
Yeah, it was.
Would you guys like an actual recess?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I'd just get a
Okay.
drink.
Yeah. Take a few minutes. All right, we'll take 5.
Yeah, that was
We're
really fun.
taking 5 for sure.
Yes.
Okay, taking 5.
Yes, ma'am.
See you soon.
Cool. All right, now we're going to get into everyone's favorite topic, public administration. I'm prepping my spreadsheets now.
Yes.
Woo, woo.
Now, you all will be judging just very quick state criminal cases. The bailiff comes forward and says, "We have a defendant who claims he is unable to pay his taxes due to poor harvest. The only thing that will grow on his farm are pigs and chickens. All the veggies are dying due to poor water conditions. The state has issued him a tax bill he claims he cannot afford. He owes 50 gold, 25 in taxes, 25 in penalties. Punishment should be forfeiture of land and assets. He has little to his name, save for a single magic ring from his nana and land worth 200 gold. The question for you is, what should his punishment be?"
Oh, look, I mean, you got to pay
Can
your taxes.
we,
You know.
hang on.
We could take
Why
the
are
ring
you-
as collateral until he's able to afford to pay his taxes next year.
No. Can we talk about?
Why are taxes not based on revenue?
Can we all talk about the polluted water
And
complaint?
I was going to wonder
again?
where the polluted water was coming from. Yeah, I agree.
Do we know this defendant's name?
Yeah, Mr. Jacobs.
Okay. Is he claiming pigs and chickens are not valuable, and he can't farm those?
Mr. Jacobs alleges that he was a vegetable farmer and all of his non-pigs or chickens have died, leaving him with only a few pigs and a couple of chickens for subsistence that he was planning on using himself. He's unable to pay his tax bill.
Well, I'd say his poor water condition is going to be solved shortly, so just take maybe, like Isa said, ring as collateral
We
until
take the
he's
ring,
able to
yeah.
catch up.
Ring his collateral
And then-
for one tax season. The next season, he has to pay the taxes from the previous well as well as the current taxes, based on the fact that he will have an abundant crop because the water situation will have been resolved, as well as the council recommends that he invest more in his pigs and chickens that he already has, as he himself has stated that they grow on his current land better than the veggies that he was processing.
I would also recommend that we waive the penalties fee, as he was involved in another legal imbroglio. So I think that we can hold off on that unless he's not able to pay the next time. But I'm in
Penalize
favour
him.
of the collateral.
It's fine.
The bailiff states the magical ring will be delivered to you, Uno, as collateral until he's able to pay his bill.
All right,
Lord of the Rings.
we've already got a nice one right here.
Senator of the Ring, thank you.
Yes, indeed.
No, I'm Lord Uno. The rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Lord Uno, pop that collar.
The second case, or the next case, is a failure to serve case. A member of your society, the defendant, failed to serve in the military after mandatory conscription. The battle in your district military unit was known as the Fourth Horde, and the defendant claims he would have died. Over 50% casualties in the Fourth Horde as they were used as bait. He claims that he stayed back to run a farm, which he did successfully, helping out his neighbors when their husbands went away to war. He said he did what he could to comfort the women while the men were gone and ensure the crops were tended. The farms did have a good yield. He offered to pay in coin for his missed service from the profits of the 4 farms he managed. The 4 farms totaled 300 gold, averaged 75 gold per farm. Only 1 farm was actually his, but he did ensure a good yield for the other 3 farms. Of the other 3 men, only 2 returned from the battle, meaning 1 of the husbands of the farmers were killed in battle, leaving 1 farm without a man to tend it. The law suggests imprisonment or forced amputation of a non-essential body part, such as an eye, an ear, of a finger, for failure to serve in the military if conscripted. What is your judgment?
I would like to suggest a separate punishment. I think recognizing that he did fail to serve is important for law and order, but possibly we could suggest forced labor at this farm that someone did not come back from. He's required to help run it.
Community service.
Yes, that's a
The
better.
loss of a finger.
Now,
No.
hear me out here.
Loss of a finger.
Should
He
we
did do a
not
good
take
thing.
should we not take into consideration that did he not fail as in his capacity as military conscription? If he had not done so, that maybe more of those men would have returned home.
Mm-hmm.
However, I mean, they might have returned home to some dead people here because there'd be no food.
Yeah.
No, and that's why I'm saying a loss of a finger is not that big of a deal. It shows that we do take seriously
Kind
the
of a
military
big deal.
conscription.
But
And it's fine or community service because one farm did truly lose its male, as you would refer to it, the provider, the one that tends the farm, and he should be not forced, if you will, but in a sense, yes, he should be responsible for that farm for the next 5 years along with his own. But not, obviously receive any revenue from that farm, as it will go to the widow who lost her husband.
I think he did quite a lot of service, community service, during the war, and that he can just continue on doing some more community service. But I don't think a loss of a limb is
A
necessarily
finger is not
needed.
necessarily a limb. A finger is literally something that you have.
I just
sent
think
up.
it's excessive. I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't. Other than what
I would agree.
making
I
a
think it's
point
necessary.
that
I 100%
Well-
think it's necessary. It needs to be stated
we don't.
that they need to be able to stand up for their own land and go to war
I-
when necessary.
I don't think bodily harm should be a
It's
punishment.
not even
Again,
true
he has
bodily harm.
offered financial restitution
It's a
to preserve
finger.
his limbs.
There-
And
Okay,
I
Issa,
would
think
gladly
about-
accept the financial restitution.
All right, then how much is a finger worth to you, Anu?
But here's the thing: we are not barbaric people who are chopping off fingers and ears and
OMG,
toes.
We would totally chop off a finger back
it's
in my hometown.
it's not
It was
the
necessary.
crime.
Issa, how
the
about
crime
this?
he committed was not like a violent crime.
He literally
you-
stayed away from
Issa,
war.
Do you really think it's in the best interest of a country to have them defended only by people who are afraid to not show up, not because they don't really want to be there? Like, that's not going to be effective.
Sometimes the amount of bodies that are presented at the war front are more important than the skill of those bodies.
Yeah, but we know that's not the case.
Mm.
Look at what happened.
Okay.
Mm,
That's
We
not
vote.
the skill that we provided
This was a very messy fight.
amongst
You're
ourselves.
making yourself slightly different from these people.
He
was
but
supposed
that's
to be
what
a
you
soldier.
said.
He
You
would have
said
been
you
slightly
said the
trained.
bodies versus the skill. That's not. It is
I
skill
still think
over
he needs to
body
lose his
count.
finger. Unless you want to say that gold is worth that, then Uno, take the gold from him, and he be conscripted to work 5 years for that farm that lost their man.
Years.
I believe that labor is absolutely fair as well as financial restitution. I believe that it would be excessive to inflict corporal punishment. It would not serve to further this.
Well, you're the Lord, Uno, so I'm going to follow your lead on this. I will say I do
It's-
think he needs to serve 5 years on that farm, as the life of that farmer could have been 10 times
That's-
longer than that.
That's what we suggested. I think that I don't think he deserves corporal punishment. I
Or
don't think
I'm
a
a
number
dragon.
of bodies.
I'm a dragonborn. I like when things.
Yeah, and I was at that
people-
fight, okay? I was on that front line, and the number of people there would not have changed it. Him being there as some poor farmer, no, it would have been another dead body not coming home and us having no more crops.
You don't
from
know if
that
he would've died
farm.
or not. He could have survived easily.
Over half of them did. I watched it happen.
That is true, but still, one person can always make a difference in a fight.
And you're
So, I think we are saying the same things over. So I think it sounds like three of us are in favour of no corporal punishment. I think that would suffice then to say that is off the table, and we can all agree to labour as well as financial restitution. Yes.
Like I said, Unu, you're the Lord. You make the final decision. I'm happy with whatever you decide.
How about to offer something to Isa's point? He be forced to take part in some sort of more formal militia training so that if a conscription happens again, it's not just throwing bodies at a problem. People actually know how to fight.
Oh, that sounds like an
double
excellent
community
idea.
service, basically. He helps manage the other farm as well as he gets actual training.
Training.
And the training's not just him, it's all of them, but
All those that remain from the previous instance.
well,
Yes.
yes, we're
And
not
the-
training dead people.
We're not training the dead. That's happening to
I
the
mean,
east.
you know, if we could train the dead, that
Oh
would be
my
very
God.
helpful, but we're not going to go down that.
That's who we're
path.
fighting.
I mean, maybe
Lot
we
of
should.
pathway. I mean,
Maybe
might.
we
If
should.
anybody knows a necromancer, I don't hate them. They just smell really bad. Really bad.
Ouch.
All right,
let's go.
justice served.
In
On
another
to the next.
plane, Cort is offended.
I'm sorry, what was the final justice on this one?
So, 5 years labor on the farm, the full financial restitution that was offered, as well as the
Taking part in a militia
military
training.
training.
Mandatory conscripted training or military training.
Militia training.
yeah.
Uno, add 100 gold to your inventory as the financial restitution will be paid to you.
Oh, no, do you already have the other gold and silver that was received in your inventory?
I do not.
Alex, can you provide him the amount so that he can keep that in his inventory as the Lord? The area?
Sure. Currently, as far as I know, it's just the financial ring. If it was paid to an individual
Oh.
for financial restitution, it was paid to
I'm
that
talking
individual.
about the gold and the silver.
The
that
silver,
was
the
received
gift.
by the whole.
Oh yeah, that was
as a gift.
20,000 silver,
Yeah,
We just we didn't have the total amount, is what she was
I
saying.
just-
Yeah,
I
it was
mean, can be
20,000
in the
silver,
house,
which is the
but-
equivalent of 2,000 gold.
We just
Perfect.
Cool. All right. So now for everyone's favorite topics: tax law. Currently, in your district, there are 1,500 people, about 1,000 workers. So you're about 2/3 employed. That last 500 involves 300, able-bodied people who are either not working or not able to work. 200 people who are not currently working but want to work. 100 people who can't work, and then 200 children or just non-workers, old, broken, crippled, whatever. So, the question is, how much do you want to tax, as taxes are typically collected per week? The average person makes 10 gold per week, but only has 1 to 2 gold of disposable income. The other districts are charging 15 to 20% tax rate. I will go ahead and drop those numbers in chat.
Thank
And this is for your workers. You will also have a separate tax for your businesses.
Okay.
waiting for numbers.
Uh-huh.
What are the population differences between the districts?
Your district is one of the smaller ones, both financially and population-wise, as it is one of the both newest in terms of financial setup and all that, but oldest in terms of architecture.
Okay, that's fair.
So
Thank you.
1,500 people, 1,000 people currently working, making about 10 gold per week, with 1 to 2 gold of disposable income. The rest is spent on living expenses, food, living expenses, equipment, seed. Most of you people are farmers. Sorry, that looked a little janky.
It makes sense.
Now,
Additional information. There are 200 non-workers, as in able-bodied adults who want to work but just can't. 200 non-workers of children, and there are 100 war vets who are disabled and now unable to work. So the question is, what is your tax rate that you would like to instill, as the average tax rate in all the other districts is between 15 and 20%?
what is the financial burden of the districts? Like, how much money do we need to be solvent?
Currently, you are essentially solvent. There's a few other things from tariffs and all that coming in, and that handles your basic administrative. This district is well known for being behind in taxes and full of bad administrators. Upon investigation, great question, your district is 3 weeks behind on tax collection. However, your district is also well known for having people who are very bad with money. And if you ordered a 3-week collection of your taxes, could financially break some people.
Alright. Has everybody thought about this for a second? They really thought about this?
Yes.
Because the way I see it is you look at 10 gold and then 15% of that is 1.5. Right?
Yes.
It's not bad. So
That's 3/4 of their disposable income, though.
right. So
Which is a lot.
what if we do a 5% tax rate across the 1,000 and we're only focusing on those that are currently working right now, right? But we do it for a time frame, right? We tax every week, right? So there should be a set time frame that we're doing this discount. And then what we're going to do is we are going to provide jobs for the 200 able workers that are currently not working with a tax break. Does that make sense?
You are able to consider such things, but remind yourself that would be very expensive to try to provide jobs.
Well, we killed
So
a
the
bunch
question
of-
is, where are you going to get the money to provide the jobs?
Didn't we kill
What
a
if-
bunch of kobolds or something that were running our manor and protecting it?
They were kind of just squatting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gobos.
I was just gonna say they were gobos. Yeah. So I mean, we need people that are actual people to protect the manor, and that's what I'm
What
thinking.
I mean, I don't think like we should be outsourcing the district's money to protect our manor. I don't think that's necessarily.
No, but like
don't
I'm not
think
saying
we
fun.
need
I'm saying
to.
okay, a cook, a stable hand.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it would
stuff
be
like that.
10 people maybe. We have 200 that need jobs, and we have
Right.
a district that's got the oldest infrastructure in the.
Right.
or-
so what other
or
areas
convenient.
can we repair the
Well, that's-
infrastructure
so
that could provide jobs?
that's-
if
We'll
we
get to that in generating jobs. We'll make that one, and don't worry, Dove, it'll be quick.
if we drop taxes, right?
right, just a little bit
it
for
will-
a time.
No, I mean more than that. Drop it to like 10%.
I was thinking 10%
and then
anyways, because that's one.
yeah, so but keep it there.
You want to level
that
the
will
playing
in-
field.
Set tax
That
rate
would-
of 10%.
Encourage people to move to our district because we will have the cheapest tax rate of all the districts.
And then you want to
Right.
increase the population, thus increase the business, thus increase the work. Is that what you're looking at?
Increases tax base, increases businesses, increases.
You
work.
have more disposable income to spend at businesses. Businesses make more. We make more taxes off businesses.
I get what you're saying, and I do agree. However, this cannot be permanent because we need the tax revenue to allow us to grow and maintain the city and its infrastructure itself. So it needs to be a time frame, and it also
Tax
needs
revenue should come from businesses more though,
No, and you're not wrong.
because they're going to be making more money because more people
But
will
I'm
have
thinking,
disposable
as
income.
we do this, there should be a time frame along this. Okay, remember?
But we don't know the
right?
city well enough to set the time frame
And that's okay.
now.
I'm not saying we set it as a few weeks or anything. I'm talking about years for this, right? This is something that Uno leaves in place, and that when he returns, changes are then instigated. Does that make sense, Ira?
Yes, I understand what you're saying. I just don't agree with the time frame. I think it should be. I agree with Dove. It should be a flat 10%, and if we need to increase later, we can
But
change
here's
it
what I'm
in a
saying: if
different.
we're
Uno?
gone,
You have heard all arguments. I think
No, I
everyone
haven't
is
gotten to
making.
the other half
Oh,
of
you
my
haven't?
point yet. Ruby won't let me finish.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Get up.
The money that we can use, those 200 people, we can use the tax income. Potentially, yes, the district will take a brief drop in tax income, but we use it to fund infrastructure projects to get us up to date with the rest of the districts. Like Dove is saying, we want people to move here. we need to make it a viable option for people other than just low taxes.
And I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm also thinking of the future, because if we go into the Feywild, the time frame difference between us here and there is going to be exponential. Okay, if we come back 5 to 10 years later, there needs to have been something in place that understands that yes, the population will increase, the infrastructure will increase, thus the tax revenue need to increase to maintain and update the infrastructure itself. Does that make sense?
Yes. So to that point, we are currently operating relative solvency at about a 15% tax rate, but we are also behind on taxes. I do take a little bit of umbrage with just a flat tax, as I think graduated income tax is going to be a more feasible solution. We already talked about people who are making more in regard to businesses paying their fair share. So if there were a way to set various thresholds based on your revenue, your income, so that someone who's making 300 gold a week can afford to pay a bit more in taxes than someone
There is not. It is just your workers' tax and your business tax, as that would be a complicated level of administration that Orcs and the DM is not capable of doing.
All right. So
mostly the Orcs.
In spirit, we'll do that. But in practice, flat tax of 10%. I also have a radical idea, and this might be a terrible idea, but what if, as an act of good faith for the rollout of this new tax plan, that we forgive delinquent taxes?
It is your call. Are you looking to forgive the last 3 weeks of delinquent taxes?
It would buy you goodwill with the people. As
I mean, you
Lord.
could even just do 2 weeks off.
Yeah, I agree with Dove. You could just do the last
It'll feel just as good.
2 weeks.
You know what I mean?
And then they have to understand that this first week is 2 gold, and then following that is 1 gold. If we're saying that everyone's making like 10 gold per week, right? So it's still going to feel good, but we are able to recuperate a bit more.
They'll be like, oh, this is way cheaper than I would have had to pay.
Right. And they're not going to know the difference. I'm not going to be mean to this, but they're not going to know the difference.
Okay. What is your final solution, Uno?
What they said.
So, you're going to collect for last week and this week, giving 2 weeks of forgiveness, and drop tax rates to 10%.
Yes.
Add 2,000 gold to your inventory.
All
right. Business income. You have 10 shops. They make an average of 2,500 gold per shop. That is 2,500 total gold per week. Now, you have 6 local shops, as in they're from people local to you. And then you have 4 shops from people on other districts, being mostly Drundle, Kush, or Uzmore. So with that, the foreign stores are making a little bit more. It's not 2,500 total. My mistake on that one. But your foreign stores are making an average of 500 per week. Your local stores are making 2,500 per week. So that should be a 1,500 for your local stores.
Are they back?
The question is,
taxes at this time, as the individuals throughout the city are?
Great question. So currently, foreign stores do not pay taxes, as that would be a direct insult to the other governors. The question is, go ahead.
When you say foreign stores, so they're
foreign in the other districts. Yeah, so you have 4 stores, one from the Strut, one from Drundle Kush.
They're branch stores that have settled here.
Franchises, yeah.
You
have 2.
They're located in our district.
They have the
That's
land.
correct.
Here. They have land here. They have a shop here. They're physically here. They send their
and they are from the the inner circle people, being Drundle Crush, which is the factory district, Uzmore, that's Joffrey, at the financial district / magic district, and the Strut, which is the garment district.
Is there any precedence of having to pay taxes for income from a district that's not yours in the other districts? Like if a Drundle Crush store is...
It's essentially, it would be a tariff, and since your group does not really have stores in other places, you don't have anything. So you're not paying any taxes, but you're also not getting any revenue, as you're in the farming district.
But do we know if that's a practice amongst the other districts?
And the answer is sometimes.
Okay.
It is taken sometimes on a store-by-store basis.
So
All right, so we cannot become a tax haven for these other districts. Like, if they are operating in our district, then they have to be paying taxes.
Lord Uno,
Because
I
they're
wanna
paying
phrase it
taxes.
this way: they're on our land.
Yes.
If they want to have an issue with paying taxes with their store, they need to be paying a land tax for using the land their store is on.
I think that's an elegant solution. We're not taxing them on their income per se. We are taxing them for the use of our land.
Especially considering
Unless-
that individuals
we-
in the area could use that shop themselves or that building for their own
Unless they are a locally owned business, they do not have to pay land tax.
store.
What
Thank
if
you.
we soften the
Perfect.
blow a little bit and make it the land tax if the foreign-owned store makes more than, say, 300 per week, which is just slightly above the
In
low.
this case, they all do. They average 500 per week.
Yes, I'm just saying phrase it that way.
And that's
Right.
something you could add as a clause into that if we were to establish that as a full tax law, and that there's a land tax on any foreign production shops or land that is importing foreign items to be sold in our territory.
Now, my worry with that is if we set a threshold at 300 gold pieces, and that's the established practice, then people are going to be throttling their revenue to get to exactly that, maybe
True.
opening multiple businesses, locations, all of them right at that threshold.
So maybe we should do a percentage then. Maybe we should look at a percentage instead of a set rate.
I think if we just keep it as if you're a locally owned business, you don't have to pay the land tax. If you're operating, like your main business is outside of our district, you have to pay a land tax while operating in our district. Because because a lot of these will have the pushback, they're not going to want to pay taxes on revenue when they're already paying taxes on revenue back to their own district.
So
I have
if the
another idea.
parent- I'm sorry.
I was going to say we could create an incentive so that we could create a tax break if they are hiring locals from our unemployed population.
And I was gonna say the way you can word it is if the parent account, in the sense the parent house is in another district and it was not founded here in our territory, then it is mandatory that a land tax be given to that store.
If they're like 70% employed by local residents.
Meaning that the employees locally are all of them are 70%.
Like
Like, if there's
70%
only
of
two
their
employees in the
70%
store?
of their workers are from our district.
Like if there's only 2 workers in the store, they have to add a third, and it has to be someone from our district.
Well, they don't have to have a third, just both of them.
But
will.
if they want the tax break,
If they want the tax rate, they have to have someone, especially if they need someone from their local district to be there as often.
And maybe we not a full tax forgiveness, but we cut it in half.
I could see that. That
Yeah.
would be better.
yeah, because the taxes are going to be much lower than what whatever our people are going to be making.
Yes.
The cost of it would
Sure.
cause for us to create those jobs.
And
Yes.
I mean, we can also phrase it as the fact that they already know that the cost to be here, to be working here, is lower in general, and it has been for a while. And they have to understand that changes are being made, and it is mandatory.
Okay, so the question is, how much is the land tax per store in the local districts? How much are the local stores paying, and how much are the foreign stores paying? Or is it a revenue tax?
The local stores would only pay a revenue tax.
A small revenue tax in comparison. So
Okay, how much is the revenue tax? They
What are they
average
making per
250 gold per week per store.
So
6 stores.
I was looking at it, and I think either 15 or 20%. If we were to do 25%, you're looking at 625. If we were to do 20%, you're looking closer to about And I'm thinking that in somewhere, and I mean, I could be wrong, it might have been 15, but like if we look between 15 or 20, there's somewhere in there that's a good medium that I think would be more appropriate. And I can actually run the numbers. I have my calculator set.
Do we have a is there a standard, like what it currently is?
Yeah, it's 0 in your district.
Okay. Do we
So
know what
Businesses are not being charged.
Do we know what it is in surrounding districts?
15 to 20%.
Okay. So if we still want to try and we want to promote more of the locally owned businesses, right?
Right. We want them to be the ones that are getting the breaks more than the ones that are of foreign districts.
So do we
What
keep
if
it
we
low at
leaned-
like 10%?
10%, 10 to 15% for the local district-owned businesses, and look at 20% for the businesses
Okay,
owned by other districts.
let's take this one at a time. Local businesses, what is your tax rate?
Well,
I think
we
10%.
have to discuss both to decide. which
Okay,
level
my
we
mistake.
want it at.
My
That's-
mistake.
Okay.
Okay,
So
I
we're
gotcha.
making 2,500 a week, right?
Yep.
So if we take
I'm sorry. They're
Wait,
making
no.
1,500 a week. I made a mistake when I put that in. It's 1,500 a week local,
okay.
and then 2,000 per week foreign.
Okay. So if we do 15, that's 225
At 15%,
at
yes.
15%. Now if we switch that and do the
10%
20,
is
we're looking at
150.
500.
For the local,
No,
Yes.
for foreign. 20%
foreign
for
is not
foreign.
1,500.
Foreign is 2,500, I thought.
Now, my one concern is if we levy this tax on businesses, is there a chance that they take their business to another district that does not have the practice of taxing foreign businesses?
But that's okay.
Yeah, I don't
Yes,
know.
that is a risk.
I
And
think
currently,
that's okay.
since you guys don't know a ton about business and there was not a lot of notes from the last guys, you're kind of guessing here.
I would
But
say that'd be
it-
okay though, because we would promote more local businesses to want to stay and be here, because there's a chance
Uh,
they would get taxed.
He's
elsewhere.
saying our local businesses would go to another district to operate because they're not charging foreign businesses an extra tax, and we're charging a tax.
But you know the average tax rate for everything is about 15 to 20%.
Yeah, I would say.
So
that
if we
there's-
keep our local low, then they'll have
Yeah.
incentive not to move.
yes.
What do you guys
Yeah.
want to make your local tax?
I'd say local tax at 15 because we want it to be above what the income tax is,
Okay.
I
but
believe
not
that's fair.
astronomical. And
15.
Then
Are you
foreign-
collecting back taxes for the last 4 weeks to the businesses?
Oh, we should do the same as we did
Uh,
before.
But it was
which-
3.
No, it's local businesses. Is
4 including this one.
Okay.
So I think
I think we do the
thing
same
with
forgiveness.
2 weeks off, and then they pay last week and this week, and then from moving forward, they'll just be paying 1 week from now. Every week.
We could also, since it is a larger amount, we could offer them to pay it in installments.
Uno, what's your call?
I believe, yeah. If I think consistency is important, so if we're offering this break to the consumer, then we should offer it to the business owners as well.
Okay, so your final answer is 15% tax for 2 weeks and excluding the 2 weeks before that, yes?
Yes, correct.
for
Add
local.
for local. Yeah. Add 400, not 450 to your gold as 2 of the businesses had trouble paying the previous weeks. Okay, cool. Foreign business, what are you guys doing with them?
I think
90%.
we.
Put
I
them
was
at
gonna
20% land tax.
I was gonna say 30, and then that way the half off is 15 equal to a local, but that requires them to
Yeah.
employ 3/4 of our employees.
Mm-hmm. That's
think
really
that's
good.
Perfect solution.
So they'll pay 15% tax, but
No.
they have to employ 70% local.
Yes.
Yes.
75%, 3/4.
Okay.
Easier fraction.
Okay. So, with that, is there any tax forgiveness for them?
Yes, we don't want to show that, like, we want to be goodwill to, because we still want to encourage them to be here. So 2 weeks, same.
I think that's
Okay.
fair.
Add 600 gold to your inventory, and after you make this ruling, within about 20 minutes, there's a heavy rabble as 75 of your workers are now employed by these as they fired all of their workers instantly to get that tax break. No fucks given. They wanted the tax break.
But now those
15
workers are going to want to move here for the lower income tax.
Lower
You guys
income tax
created a
and-
very clever economic system. You now only have 125 people unemployed, as instantly 75 of your people were instantly employed for the tax break. That is a great way to incentivize. Okay, that concludes the tax law section. Now, we have one other important thing to discuss. You have 125 unemployed workers. They are asking for money. What are you going to do for them as 125 unemployed workers and 100 veterans are asking for assistance? That is 225 total people.
Okay.
I think
Voluntary militia.
I was gonna say
Employment.
the veterans should be the ones, if they have training skills, should be the assistants and training
Yep.
the necessary militia for the district's area, which would be like the city guard.
Most of those veterans are injured and or crippled, as
That's
this
okay.
battle was a total loser
They
for you
don't-
guys.
They don't have
That's
to
okay,
be
they can
fully
be
functional.
instructors.
You can still be an instructor and teach and view people. Like people that have lost an arm or lost a leg can still teach the young and the fully functional how to fight and what like basic instruction
Okay.
on how
What not to
manage.
do.
What are
What
you
not
going
to
to
do?
pay
The
them
stupid
out of
shit.
government funds? As the average income is 10 gold for workers and farm owners per week.
I have a weird suggestion.
Go ahead.
Is there any like decent amount of open space or unused buildings / are we planning on staying in the keep a whole lot?
I mean,
It's got
there's
combos.
there's a fair amount of open business or buildings, as many people died in the recent battle.
So what if we use some of our tax revenue, the able-bodied who can work and want to work, we get them to build somewhere that we can provide room and board.
And you can absolutely put them to work. The question is, what are you paying them per week?
Hang on, let me finish my
Okay.
statement. We get them to build somewhere that we can provide room and board. Those who wish can stay on as like cooking, cleaning, whatever. And also live there, so room and board plus a small wage. Or room and board, small wage, and I don't know, different tax division or something. And then those who aren't able to work, are no longer able-bodied, especially if they're no longer able-bodied because they were forced to go fight in the militia, can participate in the militia training if they want, or they just have somewhere to stay with room and board.
I think that sounds like a good idea. That's our income. That's what you're saying.
That's our weekly
I
income.
think Dove makes a good point though, because we've already seen a court case or an instance where we've lost people that were managing farms, and we've already assigned community service of management of the farm based on a certain amount of time. You know,
Alex, is that profit or total income? Like, is that
Profit.
okay? Continue, Ruby. Sorry.
no, it's okay. I'm just thinking because we are a farming district, right? Predominantly, we have a lot of
Yep.
farms in our area. So I'm not saying that we need to be in charge of them, but I'm saying the state, Lord Uno, could constrict to pay individuals that are hardy enough to work on these farms for a set amount of time, meaning, you know, during the actual seasons that they're needed, and then the rest of the time they are a part of the militia. Does that make sense? Like
Sure.
it's, you know, they are volunteering to be a part of the militia. They'll be trained by the veterans, but when we're
Okay.
not needing them, they rotate into assisting the farms to make sure the crops yields come in. That if the farms don't have any higher management, as in the man of the house or the, you know, as we've seen, that they passed away or something happened, or the children are not of age to take over, that they're there to assist and make sure that the crops are yielded appropriately. Does that sound
Cool. Yeah. And the question is, who pays?
Yeah, they wouldn't have.
And
income.
that's where I think we then can, depending on the farms, because we don't know actually how many farms we have, if the farms decide that they will take those workers on and are welcome to them to come in, then they get a small tax break and we pay part of it, and the tax break is what goes to the workers.
Yeah, or we could have part of the yield come in, and the yields from those crops are what go to a lot of these people who are unemployed, like just for basic food.
Right, and that could be a way, because store it for the winter and for preparation and stuff. I mean,
we could offer, for those who can't, like, for those who just are not able-bodied, we can offer that plan of like turning it into food and shelter kind of thing. We can afford 5 gold per person for up to 335 people.
Right, and that's again where I was thinking, if the state helps pay for that, and then the farm gets a tax break, and that pays what's necessary. Does you get what I'm saying in regards to that, Ira?
I understand what you're saying. What I'm trying to say is we can pay up to 5 gold for way more than we have people needing money, and the average cost of living was 8.
But for how long can we sustain something like that?
8 for farmers and workers and people who were needing living expenses.
Yeah, you said they had 1 to 2 left over after 10 gold a week, which means 8 pays their basic needs.
Mm-hmm.
If we're providing part of that basic needs with at least somewhere to sleep, 5 gold is plenty a week. We have more than enough income to provide that for the people needing money right now.
Okay, I think I see where you're going with this. Yes.
Yeah,
so, but
and the
my
people
question.
needing jobs,
Okay.
we can put towards helping build out that room and board.
And
But how long?
with the tax breaks, we should encourage more businesses come, and that
I mean,
will
as long as
benefit
we have
them.
income tax, that's how long. Like, this is our weekly income or weekly profit.
Perfect.
But that's what you're looking
So
for.
what I'm hearing is 5 gold stipend for all of your non-workers until they find work.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and deduct 1,125 from your gold. Are you doing any back payments for the last couple of weeks where they would not have had a stipend?
I would say no.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do I hear a second?
How much would that be? Can someone give me a number of how much that's looking like?
It would be 11.25 per week.
Right. So you would just double that, so it would be 2250.
Okay, so what if the new lord decides that because he cares about this land and wants to see it flourish, he will pay one of those weeks. Thus, they will get, obviously, the current one, which will be taken out of the current taxes that are coming in. But the gold that we received...
The other one will be further down?
Yeah, it's a future payment that... I was going to say, with the gold that we received, the silver and everything that we received, maybe we would take care of that as a gift to the people.
Oh.
Did you get what I'm saying,
I
Duff?
think...
Does that make... Okay, I saw the
Uno?
question, but... Uno, do you understand what I'm saying?
Kind of. I think what makes sense to me is that we give them, 1 week, like as a jump start here, because worst case scenario, they go and spend it on local businesses.
Right. So, but that wouldn't be from our current taxes. It would be out of our own pocket from the bounty that we receive from being the heroes.
Since you are the senator, it's all your own pocket.
Yeah.
And that's where things get sticky. You are the god of the money. This is your money, but also your people's money.
Yeah, so
I think we should keep it a little separate.
However you guys want to do it. Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
disagree that it should be separate from now on, but if we really want to be an incentivization to the people that haven't been employed recently to be more employed, we give them this 1 week of 1,125 out of our own pocket. I'll pay 250 of it from my own pocket if we have to. I mean, I know that we have a good stack of money right now, so I'm not that worried. I'm not sure what I would even spend it on. So, depending on what you guys
In the end, are you going a week back?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what we're
I've deducted the
talking
gold.
about.
Okay, deduct 2,250. Now, after you have solved the tax crisis, every week you will receive 550 gold. There are a few other interesting inquiries, and these are requests for funds. A team led by a woman named Johannes has offered to go to the Feywild for you. She has heard rumor that there is a bag, a small one, that could be traced for extreme treasure. She offers to go ahead and take the bag, track the bag into the Feywild, and recover any items missing. Her ask is 500 gold for the mission, an additional 25% of the take of all gold, and first dibs on items, or an exchange of value. No item will cost more than 1,000 gold. So if she finds something in there with 10,000, you cannot be charged more than an additional 1,000 for it.
So she gets one,
Can we,
dibs on one item, or up
Can
to
She
we
gets-
counteroffer?
She gets 500 gold total, 25% of any gold recovered, and any items worth any items worth more than 1,000, you cannot be charged more than 1,000 for them, but you will pay item by item to retrieve them.
I think we should counteroffer that in some way. Don't you?
I mean, I think this is a ludicrous.
Yeah,
what are her
that's no.
credentials?
That's like
That's
thousands.
absurd.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a single item that's worth more than
No.
1,000 gold. So she's going to get
So-
everything.
No,
There's
no,
not
no. Hang
even-
on. If there's any single item worth more than 1,000, so if there's something in there with 10,000, you cannot be charged 10,000 for it. The most you can be charged on any item is 1,000.
But she's
that's what I'm saying,
charging
like-
us
Still
for each
individual
item.
Yeah. So if like there's 5 potions.
She'll get
5,000.
25% of the take of the gold. I'm sorry, and 10% of the value of any
Okay.
item.
Okay, to be
I
clear.
apologize. So if she finds 10 potions and they're worth 50 apiece, you'll be charged 10% of that.
She's not offering to go after our bag.
Your bag.
My bag.
Your
The
bag.
bag.
The bag.
It's not in the Feywild though. It's in
no,
the
it's,
astral
it's
sea.
in the astral plane.
Yeah.
Astral sea,
And
yeah.
it's not, it doesn't have like,
The bag doesn't
we
exist
would
anymore.
be paying more. How much per item?
You cannot be
10%.
charged more than 1,000 per item.
Yeah, I
A
don't think
maximum
this is a
of
good
10% of the value of the item. So if there was something worth 50,000 and there's something priceless, she can't gouge you on the price and say you owe me X.
deal. I would just turn
It's
it
a
down.
maximum of 1,000 per item.
This seems unnecessary. I would turn
10%
it down
of
because-
every
10%
item.
of the fair market value of every item, 25% of the gold take, and 500 for the mission.
But the bag doesn't exist anymore. It was ripped into pieces.
But who's to say that?
But there are ways you can track a bag into the astral sea and recover the items.
Okay,
It's
who did we
dangerous,
leave
it's
behind?
difficult, but it can be done.
We left behind Ildren, who gave us the finger of his one arm as he sent us here, right? Who's to say
Yeah.
that he hasn't already gone and tracked this bag? I don't know. I understand that
He
that
doesn't
knowledge
have the
is common
pieces of
knowledge.
the bags.
Yeah.
You would need the bag itself.
Right, but that's not to say he isn't sliding through the astral plane, astral sea,
mean,
looking for it.
You could try. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he could be trying. We don't know.
It's been one day.
Dove, how much gold was in the
Yeah.
bag?
8,500-ish.
Yeah, that was a lot.
8,500, you said?
Ish, yeah.
8,726.
I just think we should say no. There's no reason for this. If we need anything, we need
That-
someone to track down Alticles and see where Alticles was
So-
gone and what he was trying to tell us.
Just to put into perspective here, we'd be paying her 500 for the mission, a little over 2,000 out of the contents of the bag, plus 10% of item values.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's a bad deal.
Well over 3 grand to get back like 5,000 gold and whatever other items were in there.
I mean, the good news is we have a steady source of income now.
Yes.
Well, I had plans on going to the library and trying to learn a few things, but it's only been a day.
Well, we can still do that though.
You
That's
can always
something-
pass on these.
I think we should
I
pass on
don't
that.
think this is a good idea.
It's not
Okay.
a good. It's not a good deal.
I would counter offer like 10%
Uh,
plus
I would
Yeah, go ahead.
counter offer.
of the gold if a certain list of items are recovered. Like, we can accept that some won't be recovered, but if she recovers the gold, like whatever gold she recovers, 10% of it, if items X, Y, Z are also recovered.
I would just like to counter and ask her who gave her this information.
I would.
Say,
Because
what if
I
we
already know.
What if we just offered, like, asked her to prove she knew how to do this?
I would just say let's not do anything because it's not worth it. If we're gonna get that bag, we're gonna get it ourselves. I would rather someone go get Orcsylvania and figure out what the heck his drawings meant.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I have no desire for someone else to retrieve something that.
Uno, you're ultimately in charge. What's your call?
Issa, we understand we don't want her to go get it, but if she knows how, we can at least try and
We know
find
how
out.
to go get that. That's something I can easily research with
don't.
Doug in the library.
We don't know how, though. Not yet.
We can
Research
figure
is
out.
available. I can figure
Okay.
that out with Dove in the
The
library.
party passes.
Yeah. It doesn't. We could talk to her more later and find out if she has
And
it.
beat her up in a back alley.
Yeah.
I like
This
beating
And I
people
will
up in a
be.
back alley.
is not going to be a successful one.
Okay, 200 gold is requested to train more police, as there have been multiple incidents. There was a bar fight, leaving 2 injured and property destroyed. That was the court case you guys didn't get a chance to involved with. There were children on a farm who may have been attacked, a werewolf sighting, and a possible attack. People fear the undead and are afraid that people might be getting eaten in the night. A large animal on a rampage fearing has broken a fence and may have been foaming at the mouth.
I
That's a
think
lot
our
at once,
new
Alex.
militia.
I'm sorry,
training will
and
take care of that.
also a shop was robbed and multiple trinkets of moderate value were stolen.
Is it a foreign shop or a local shop?
Local,
Fuck.
Do we
That's
know what
our-
the trinkets were?
not at this time.
Our new militia can take care of that.
Yes,
And
we've
what
already
if,
established a new militia that would assist the city police.
Okay.
And we can
I-
direct the individual who is petitioning for this goal to be part of that committee that is working toward developing this militia.
Okay. Officially, you guys are passing on 200 gold for additional police officers.
Yeah.
But
25.
we're offering the people.
Right. Yeah, you guys have
Alright.
your own plan for that. You're not adding to it with this specific plan.
Right.
200 gold is asked for the mapping of the countryside, looking for specifically the undead, monsters, and where these fey creatures that the public is calling the Lost Landers are coming from.
Can we
Alright.
hear more about what the Lost Landers are?
There are rumors that there are people coming in from the Feywild. Some people are saying the Fey realms themselves are collapsing. Some of these seem to be lost and scared citizens. Some have even said there is more sinister things. There's
Can we,
even been whispers, talks of wild animals, demonic dolls, and rampaging creatures.
Can we petition the Inquisition to assist with the verification and land mapping, as it does include the Feywild issues? As
In
magic is
this
something that
case,
is fun.
no. This is a personal explorer wanting to do it. A small adventuring team.
What's
I-
the number of adventuring team members wanting she can do this?
The ask is 250 gold.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable amount of money. Information is important,
think-
and we need information.
And
I
it's
think yes,
something-
if we specify they report directly to us.
Meaning we don't.
That
share
is
knowledge
accepted.
With
They will
anyone
report
else.
only to Uno and your party
My council. Yes.
and Uno's council.
I support this. Any objection?
None.
None.
Deduct 250 gold, and the second to last request, 75 gold is asked for the Dwarven Army of the North, the Technomancers, to assist in building up their weaponry against the rebels of the South. Additionally, 1,000 gold is asked of the Army of the South, led by his Grandmaster, the Sorcerer. You know him, you love him,
Decline.
Commander General Flint.
Declined. I will not play Flint any money.
I mean,
I think we
I'm not.
should pay either side in a war.
I'm actually
Certainly not gonna
Dove.
pay
I
the
do not think we should pay
technomancy.
anything to either of these sides, especially not Flint's
Technocracy.
side,
Why
really
not
like-
Flint's side?
because he
I'd
chose
really like to
bureaucracy
watch-
over Nala, and that's all I have to say on the matter.
You don't even know Flint.
Yeah, I do. Are you kidding me? Nala writes about him all the time. He is the most annoying connotation to any letters she ever wrote home until she stopped writing letters, and then Mother contacted me and said I had to go find her. Why do you think
She
I'm here?
adored. Oh,
Can't
I didn't
Flint
ask
like
her.
melt down that statue? Isn't that worth like
Oh,
a
yeah.
pound
I
of
mean,
gold?
wait, hold on. What statue, Dove? What happened?
Oh,
I'm really
that's a
curious
good
now.
story. I'll
If
tell you.
only you knew.
You
I
could
would
also
love
just
to
go talk
know.
to the beef holder and get more gold.
Mm.
All right.
I would really.
I will
like to
assume
not-
you guys are passing on this one for now.
I think we should.
Oh,
pass
we
on
will
both.
send a personal letter to Flint, though.
Can I put it in there? Fuck you, Flint. This is Nala. This is from Izza, Nala's sister. Go away.
Oh, you know what? We should go visit Flint, actually,
I thought
because
he was coming here, Dove. Isn't he
because
coming with the?
do you remember when we all sent letters out
Oh yeah.
to Flint? I
That's gonna
think
be
it
a
would be
problem.
maybe go see if Cort left any instructions.
Hey guys, I gotta tell you something.
But we could literally go visit Flint tonight and come back here tonight too, if you want to.
I gotta figure out if Cort left any instructions.
I gotta tell you something about
Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot to
okay.
write my homework letter too.
I did not.
with my letter.
Just don't tell
That
Alex.
in case of something bad happens to
No,
Flint
I-
later.
So if that
But
letter
no,
actually
but I can
arrives-
take us to literally go visit Flint for a couple hours, and then we can come back here too if we want
Okay,
to have
let's
a.
table that for now. But
Yeah.
yes, Izzo, you're trying to say something.
You guys good?
So I don't know if Nala mentioned, but we have a younger brother. He's a little shit. He's the heir of father's business and the council. If my letter actually arrives and mom and pa take it seriously, the little shit might show up. So just be on the lookout for a red dragon that's stalking around and that has like a really vibrant personality. And please make sure he doesn't sneak up on me, because he used to do that when I was younger and I really hated it. So yeah, just be aware. His name is Rue. He's my younger brother. He's the baby of the family.
I mean, he might be an heir, but I'm a lord, so.
Oh,
you
you know, you trump him right now, but he's a little shit at the best
I mean-
times.
While you guys argue and
Exponential
discuss, Saren, the sorceress, moves over to you, Uno, moving through the crowds very calmly and gracefully, approaching you directly, lightning trickling from her fingers.
Hey, girl, hey.
Immediately paying attention to this.
Ooh, yes, zeroing in.
Lord
something.
Uno, I have an issue that requires a deft and delicate hand as well as a group of intelligent and inquisitive people.
It's
One of my citizens has been murdered in a quite heinous way, and I would like to get to the bottom of this. Have you ever done any sort of investigations? I hear your legal proceedings have been quite fruitful.
There has been quite a bit of fruit, actually, yes. Now, have I investigated a murder? I mean, probably. I've done so many things I can't even remember half of them. I've been around a lot of murder, so sometimes at my hands, sometimes. Yeah. I'm the man for your job. Yes. You know, from senator to senator.
You inspire confidence. I will take you to the scene of the crime. It is quite gruesome. I hope you all have thick stomachs. We have narrowed it down to 4 suspects.
You want all of us, not just Lord Uno, right?
A full team would be best to investigate this.
I've
I mean,
never
I don't go
investigated one, but
Anywhere without my entourage.
Oh,
I-
thank
Very
you,
well.
Uno. Been wondering about that.
been part of a couple murders, but I've never investigated one. This should be fun.
Intriguing. In this case, we have Sarsaparilla, a tiefling. We, of course, have Mick, the dwarf. An elf named Claude. And a drow who goes by Drix. I'll allow you to investigate the crime scenes, and then I suppose I should give each one of you their case to argue in court. The way we do things in our district when we have a murder such as this is the lawyers determine who did it. And then from there, I, the district manager, the senator, if you will determine the punishment. I simply need you all to investigate, and then you will get a summons from your people who will tell you their side of the story. From that, you will then be able to discuss amongst yourselves who you feel is the most likely culprit.
Interesting.
Very strange sense of justice in this town.
I mean, justice is a weird thing, you know? And who are we to say how it ought to be? I think in principle, yes, we for this lead the way.
Is that a Johnny Depp skeleton?
Is it?
Yes.
It is. Yes. I mean,
Upon walking up on the scene, there is a fairly large house sitting by itself. Two very, very large burn marks where parts of the wall have been not just burned, but blown out. Fire and soot is all over the inside of the homes. The walls are essentially missing. You may begin investigating however you wish. Investigating specific objects could give you more information on the clues. I'm going to go ahead and unlock tokens now.
are those gargoyles at the front door?
They just might be.
I want to go look at the gargoyles.
Uno's checking out the
Is
corpse.
this? Yeah, I was.
Okay,
checking
Uno.
out the corpse with Uno.
There is a large orc burned heavily across his body. Give me a medicine check as you take a look at this corpse.
Can I do a medicine check along with him since I'm right there doing the checks?
Yes, you may, I guess.
Okay.
That will be the equivalent of advantage. Probably a good thing you did. On this dead orc, you very quickly notice there is a hole in one of his shoulders about the size of a nickel, a hole in one of his shins about the size of a nickel, and a hole in his chest about the size of a nickel. His eyes are bleeding, and much of what he is wearing is burned. In fact, his clothing looks to be extremely burned pajamas.
Can we tell that
It looks like he's holding a small axe of some kind, though it itself is very burned. Upon closer inspection, you determine it was, in fact, an axe.
Can we confirm that these shots were made before the burns on the body?
With that kind of a roll, these shots were created after the burning began.
After the burning, thank you. Okay.
Do they look like arrow wounds, or do they look more like...
With the 21 medicine, yeah, they do.
So they don't look like bullet holes like what Dove
They're
does?
not special weapons like bullets.
Can I look around and see if I can actually find the arrows? And can you confirm if there are, meaning I can see straight through, that they have gone straight through?
You cannot see straight through.
Okay.
There's one in the shoulder, one in the shin, and then one in the chest.
So we can see the arrowhead sitting in within. Do we see the actual
No,
shaft?
you cannot see any arrowhead. There is no arrow.
Okay, so there's no arrow, no debris inside the wound itself.
No debris inside the wound itself.
Can I look around and see if there's anything discarded and around the body?
Absolutely,
area?
go ahead.
What do you want me to roll?
Where are you looking? Uno,
Okay.
where are you looking?
Specifically
Checking
just
out
around the
the
body.
trees nearby.
Okay, Uno, roll investigation. Dove, what are you up to?
I'm looking at the two spell radiuses and trying to determine what
Okay.
caused them.
Okay, Uno, you do not discover anything of interest at all in this tree. Dove, as you look through, give me an investigation check.
Could I use an Arcana?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm trying to determine if it's
Go ahead.
spell related.
As you go woo, and feel around for Arcana, you do not feel anything of significance of any kind.
Can I call Boris?
Okay,
over?
for either of the blast radiuses.
For the blast radius you're at, if you do a second one on the second blast, you're welcome to do so.
Okay.
Can I call Boris over?
Yes, you may.
Um,
You feel nothing magical related at the place where you are standing for that blast.
I'm going
Boris comes
to
over.
ask or call Uno as well and see if he would like to spend a spell slot to ask Boris to sniff around the corpse's wounds, specifically where we see the holes, to see if he can
Fascinating.
trace
Okay.
back to where that might have been.
Ira, what are you doing while they're convincing Boris to sniff around?
Uno, is that okay with you?
Ira's
Sure.
gonna be looking at the other side of the house, seeing if there's any damage to like the sidewalk, the front, the gargoyles.
Ira, you discover very, very quickly, without too much thinking, there is an axe blocking the front door.
Ooh.
The door had dual handles on it, and an axe is shoved through.
Can
Would you like
I?
to-
Yep, she's honing in on the axe as
Yeah.
much as she knows about axes as possible. Just
Go ahead, give me an investigation on said axe.
would this count as stone cunning?
Yeah, take it with advantage.
Okay.
Or is that just straight up you know about specific tools?
It gives me proficiency with things that are like stone dwarf.
Okay, never mind. Don't even need to roll. You determine, without a shadow of a doubt, this is a dwarven axe.
Nope.
That it has the name Mick, M-I-C, carved in the head.
Oh, well,
You also, after removing the axe, open the front doors and realize the front doors do open. There is soot and blood just behind the door.
it like scratched.
It would be as if somebody attempted to open said door, but was unable to in a hurry.
Is it blood like they were shot here?
Blood like blood from their feet,
Oh, okay.
possibly from burns or
Okay.
other injuries.
Arid like has the axe now. I'm gonna
Gotcha.
just start looking
You
around.
have the axe. What is Boris doing? And you're doing a speak with animals?
I was gonna tell Uno after I call Boris over, hey, do you think Boris and his snout could sniff on the body near the wounds and see if he can find maybe what direction the body was shot at from and where those shots came from? Does that make sense? Or see what he could smell and outside the area where that might have come from?
I'm just gonna like kind of leave it open to him and see like what the scent can tell us, because yeah, he maybe knows something,
For sure.
and would cast speak with animals.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Boris.
I haven't talked to you in a while. Been kind of lonely.
Yeah, you know, I just like to communicate with a glance and a pat on the head.
Oh, thanks a
Sorry about
lot.
If you ever get lonely and you want to have a little bit of a chin wag, just bite my left pinky, just like a little light
What?
bite.
Yeah, I'll do that. What,
Alright.
You were going to ask me something, I think?
Yeah. So, can you sniff around this old corpse and see? Does it tell you anything? Like maybe how did it get here? What's going on with it? Wounds.
Smells burnt and sour.
or sour.
He said sour?
Yeah. Sour.
Like, what kind of sour? Can he clarify? Like poison sour? Because I have a poison here. He could sniff and see if it smells similar.
Yeah, like that. Smells just like that.
It was like poison. All right. Interesting. So, blood was poisoned, burned, shot.
Ask him if he can sniff
Hey-
around
hey,
the area.
Uno,
and
buddy?
see if he smells something similar.
Where's Cortinius and Sebastian?
Well, here's the thing. Cortinius is with Nala. You remember Nala?
I liked her.
Yeah, they're kicking it in. It's a prison. I don't know if you know what that is. It's kind of like where you were when we found you.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Sebastian. He's burned up. He's dead.
Oh, I liked him. But every
Yeah,
time
but,
I
like-
hung out with him, I got hurt.
Yeah, and like he ultimately led you to be captured. I'm sorry about everything that went down with Tempest. Are you okay?
Yeah. Just, Uno?
Yeah.
Can you not put me in a cage over lava?
I mean, it didn't seem like you were having a lot of fun.
What was he having fun with? I didn't.
No,
sorry.
he wasn't having a lot of fun.
I put that as 1 star. Do not recommend.
All right, so we'll make sure that if we put you in a cage over something, that it's like, what would you like to be over?
Oh no, we're not gonna
Flowers?
put him in a cage. We're not gonna. Why would you even think we would put him in a cage? There's no reason. To
Isa, since when do you speak pig?
I'm asking you because you just said.
Lisa, you can't understand him.
I thought I
speaking
could
pig.
understand Nick. I thought I could
No.
still understand
Sure.
Nick because he sound like English.
Alright, all good.
Sorry, I literally thought.
Alright, where are we going from here?
No cages. No cages.
Eric kind of walks up to Dove inside and is like, I mean, this was blocking the front door. Like, someone trapped him here. Do we
Ooh.
remember the name of that dwarf that's on trial?
What were the names again?
Drix, Mick.
Dra-
That's all I got. Those two.
Strix, Mick, Claude, and Sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla. Now, here's the thing. Now, just because an X was in the door doesn't mean that the owner of the X put it
Sorry,
there. So-
Uno. Are you a part of this conversation?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
outside
think
talking to
Uno's
dwarves.
outside with Boris.
There's open doors. You're right, my bad.
Sorry. Yo, you found an axe in the door, did you?
It looks like they stopped. Whoever put it there, did it to stop the door from opening? Before I don't know how axes are held.
Teeth.
Era would know. I don't.
It just puts it in her hair.
Yeah, it puts it. You know how you use like a
Is the
pencil?
dwarf
Yeah,
equivalent
yeah,
putting
like
it
a
in your
pencil,
bra?
like a pencil in the bun. No,
Yeah,
my gosh,
exactly.
really?
pencil in the bun, just with the axe.
but it's an axe.
Okay, what are you doing with the corpse? Checking
we're
the
looking
feet?
at its feet.
Okay, roll investigation. I'm just
Ooh.
kidding. It's very easy to see this person stepped in some sort of flammable accelerant as their feet caught fire.
That's bad. Hey, did you guys see this? She
Nope.
draws Uno and Isa in.
See what exactly?
They. Sorry, my cat is biting my hand.
Yeah, the corpse.
Um,
Yeah, we saw the corpse.
No, it's look at his. Look at the feet. That's
Oh,
What's wrong with
It's
your
gross.
feet? You definitely stepped in something not.
but like that wasn't magic that was caught on fire. I don't think that looks like a normal like fire thing.
Oh, does it look like that stuff from when we had that dwarven battle, the alchemist fire?
Okay, give me a... What would alchemy be?
Can I help
Um,
with this like history or
yeah.
whatever work based? Someone who does not like
Survival?
Okay,
I
Can
can
I
roll
help
survival
or
really
do?
good on that.
are you helping me,
Sure.
Can I help?
or do you
Or who
want
are we
to
gonna help?
roll yourself?
I can. Yeah.
We can all roll and see who gets the best on that one.
I'm guiding myself. Because I need it. Oh my gosh.
So,
Why?
Dove, I'm only going with the first 2 rolls. So, Ira, you rolled definitely very well on this. You can determine it is an accelerant similar to the Dwarven Napalm, but a very, very poor quality version of it.
Oh. Someone tried to. This is not near good enough to actually be napalm, guys. This is like some sort of anarchist cookbook thing, or like they're trying to pretend like it is.
You think it would blame
This
game?
is. I don't
Kinda
think there'd be
blame
any
someone.
left if it was actually from the technocracy.
That's fair.
I don't think there'd be a body left, honestly. But
Okay.
theirs tends to burn much hotter.
That
Um,
explains the blast radius in the house.
Issa, what are you doing?
Can I investigate the desk?
Investigation check.
Left of this area and see what documents and everything are over here?
Yes, investigation check.
Oh gosh, this is gonna be terrible. Yep, told you it would be terrible.
There is a partially burned journal, but you flip through it, and as you do, you're pretty rough with it, and it corrodes into essentially nothing.
Shit.
The only thing you're able to salvage as you're going through the paperwork is a ledger, a list of names, and as you're thumbing through it very quickly, it starts to break apart. But you do see all 4 names, as well as a bunch of other ones, but your eyes only key in on those 4 names.
As the 4
I'm going to
people
give
that are
you
making
those
these.
names now and what color they are written in.
Okay. And then can I try again and roll an investigation, I guess, around the bookshelves? Or is that a painting? Like, what is that? Hold on. What is this? These are boar's heads. These are like mounted things. Is that a chest of gold?
It's like it.
Oh.
Sorry, I don't know.
Sarsaparilla and dressed in red.
Interesting. Okay. And I could tell that it was a ledger of some kind, right?
A ledger of some kind, yes. Okay. What is Uno investigating?
Checking out these crystals or whatever they are.
Okay, give me investigation. Wow. Yeah, these are casting crystals, or excuse me, magical crystals used to imbue objects. There are 3 of them. They're of decent quality. One is red, one is blue, and one is a goldish color. These crystals look pretty valuable, but were completely untouched.
Alright. So, this was not financially motivated. Interesting. Interesting indeed.
Can I roll one more time to just investigate the bookshelves or what's left of them around the desk and see if there's anything
Yep.
that catches my eye?
Yep.
Just because, why not? It's not asking.
Yeah, as you investigate, the books are mostly fictional books. One of them is orc porn. But outside of the orc porn, there's a chest that could have contained something valuable or money or something, and it is completely open and completely looted. There is a lock on said chest, but the lock is unlocked.
Can I call Ira, who I see
Sure.
nearest to me, over to just double check the chest itself and see if she can glean anything else from it for me?
Sure.
Oh, sure. Also, side note, Alex, we're definitely gonna need like title and author of the orc porn.
Yeah,
Totally.
I
get
gotcha.
that.
I'll write that book for you guys if you want.
Oh,
Yeah.
will you have graphics and pictures like a comic as well?
Mm,
Or Kama Sutra style?
yeah, I was gonna say, does it have?
Is it picture based?
Mm-hmm.
Is this an instructional book, or
I
is
think
this?
Kama
Is it
Sutra
one that
instructions would be
Alticles is going to be able to read, or is it one that you have to read to him?
That would be a good way to go
Well,
about this.
let me put it like this. As you're thumbing through it, you do see some drawings of centaurs.
Oh, fun.
Oh my god.
Hey,
I didn't know they could do that. That's amazing.
I think that's
Ira
a
is
position.
distracted.
Research.
Their knees must be double jointed.
Do you think
Did you know they
It's
could
like-
bend that way?
I didn't think they would with the head, torso, and the being the way it is here. I didn't think they would be able to.
Hard
do
to
that way.
balance like that.
But how are
looks
they
perfect.
managing it? Do you think they have like a plank or some like support? That's because like all the hooves are like almost off the ground right now. Like what the heck?
That's really impressive. Is it just like that? Can't just be like momentum.
I mean, maybe it is.
Are you
Alticles
guys
like
reading
to
porn
charge.
in
What?
there?
I found some crystals. What did you find?
Dude, no,
What
they're
am I?
looking at porn.
What?
It's
No,
really
we're not.
fascinating. I've never seen
You saying
like
corn?
Yes,
Yes,
look,
it's totally
Ira,
porn, Uno.
they're reading
Ira.
about porn. Oh,
As
don't
you-
show Uno that.
Mm.
Ira has no boundaries.
As you open the page, all it says is polymorph.
Ira, hold on.
Oh,
And, like,
that's
is
impressive.
actually
No.
gonna snatch the book away from Ira. real
You
quick.
can try.
All right, what would you like me to roll?
Sleight of hand, maybe.
Sure, yeah.
You should me snatch at the sleight of
Versus-
hand.
What is that for
I don't know
me?
what that's
Dex
gonna
save?
be.
Yeah, dex saving throw.
Okay. Era's fascinated. Not fascinated enough.
Not fascinated enough.
Is it snatches it and said, I called you over here to actually look at the chest. We'll look at that more in a second. Chest.
Era calls back over to Dovenino. Isa needs it more, never mind! And then turns around to the chest.
Is just gonna give her this like bland, really? I have siblings. This does not faze me.
I don't
Yikes.
want to know.
Yikes.
I don't like that you brought your siblings up
Yeah.
in relation to that
Oh,
book, but
trust me.
whatever you do is up to you.
Siblings would be in relation to this book. They would torture
That's-
me with it.
Not good.
Yeda, are you investigating?
She's pointing at a chest.
Yes,
Yeah.
an unlocked chest that looks like something was taken from it, and I want your opinion and investigation on what you can deduce from it, because I was not able to learn as much as I wanted.
Sure.
Go ahead and investigate.
Yeah, sure. It looks like it's open.
It's open. Yep.
Oh,
I don't know why you called me over.
I was trying to see if
Just
you could
like,
help
oh,
me deduce
shit.
what might have been taken from
Does
it. But it's
anyone
okay.
else want to look at anything else or ask any other questions or inspect
Sorry.
anything else?
I would
I'm
like
gonna-
to look at this table in here.
Okay. I'm going to save you one on that one. That table doesn't have much, just kind of a guest book and some people who came through the house. You don't see any of the names in this ledger in the last several weeks.
Can I look at the blast radiuses? Radii.
Okay.
Specifically for like remnants of something that might have been used to blow up.
Sure. Go ahead. Give me an survival as you're hunting around for specific clues.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was definitely some sort of, it was done with some sort of an alchemy jug of some kind. Somebody made a homemade explosive, and from your expert opinion of knowing about these kind of things, it was not well made.
Okay.
It is similar, but not the same yield as the other one.
Like the damage looks really different.
Different quality. This room that you're in had a much higher yield, though the remnants of the jug is very similar.
Okay.
Inconsistency in the in-home process. Makes
Exactly.
Not
That
Era's
is
like
exactly right.
she's got like a little like a fragment of it or something. She's like walking over to Dove. She's like, man, they are really bad at this. They left out a lot of stuff. I don't.
Can I investigate if the body was dragged out here, or if it literally dropped here after being shot?
Sure.
From our previous like medicine check, in a sense, or would that be inside? I
Yeah,
wasn't
go
sure.
ahead. Give me investigation.
Oh, I was gonna. Okay, sorry, ignore that one.
Oh, that's fine. Medicine's fine. Looking at where the body is based off its position, it
In the
looks like it
house.
was hit multiple times with arrows, but the one in the center dropped it and it fell on its back. Interestingly, it looks like the body was walking out here as you find 2 footprints under the back, but there is nothing behind this person, implying either this body moved on its own very quickly, rapidly, or somebody cleaned it up.
Can we look at the body's hands?
Sure.
I can look at those unless you want to come out and do it. Just fine.
Did it handstand its way out?
No, I'm more looking at was it potentially one like did it throw anything as far as
Okay.
the alpha
Give
check?
me a medicine check on said body.
Whatever the medical or whatever the fantasy equivalent of gunshot residue is.
Sure.
Is this a hot tub in here?
It was, yeah. Interestingly, looking at its fingers, there are 3 little cuts and abrasions, and they're all dark black, as if it removed something from its body, cut itself, and then a poison leaked in. There's no indication that it held any kind of flammable object.
Okay. They pulled the arrows out while they walked out here.
Uno's gonna check out this southern tree based on the knowledge that, like, seems like
Okay.
it was struck
Give me an
from
investigation.
the front. Ah, yes. This
You
is a
find
tree.
nothing of interest at all in this tree.
Did Boris was Boris able to sniff anything that was on the body in the immediate area?
It suggested that there was poison somewhere on the body.
Right, but did he scent the poison elsewhere in the immediate grounds?
Oh,
Maybe around where Uno is
actually,
circling.
yes, he did.
Where?
And Boris made motion that there was poison inside the house slightly as well.
Okay, is it
In the immediate entrance right there. Go ahead and give me an investigation, both Uno and Issa. Oh, never mind. Uno.
Someone.
Yes.
Issa,
Oh.
Uno, what were you investigating?
Where the residue of
poison.
poison was and what it looked like.
Uno, what were you investigating?
Yeah, I mean, you called me over, but really I was looking at this tree. I want
Okay.
something to be in a tree.
Gotcha.
Fair.
First off, Issa, as you're looking around, you find an arrowhead embedded in the side. What little bit of the door is remaining? Excuse me. Yeah, that was a door right there. It has completely burned and melted. But as you're going through it, you find a piece of arrowhead itself. Removing the arrowhead confirms there was a very powerful, well-crafted poison on this arrowhead. The arrow shaft is completely missing. There is also 2 other arrow holes, but the heads of the arrows do not exist. Uno, as you scour over this tree, you do find some marks. Little brushes on one of the branches about 15 feet up in the tree, where it looks like someone was standing at some point.
Can I remove the arrowhead for evidence?
Yes,
for the
absolutely.
case?
That is, you are able to remove said arrowhead.
Will I be able to identify the poison, or would one of my teammates be able to identify the specific poison, or do I know?
No,
something
it is
area?
simply because of the heat and all of that, you can determine that it was high quality potent poison, but the kind and origin is completely unknown.
Would
As
I
of
be
now,
able-
you have collected everything that you can collect from this crime scene.
I was gonna just say,
Just
would I
one
be
more
able to know?
question.
Yeah, of course.
Can I, looking at the axe, does it look like, because you said the name Mick was carved in the head of it,
Mm-hmm.
does it look like that's been there a while, or was it added really recently?
It has been there for a while, probably made when the axe was crafted itself.
Okay. That's all.
All right. Now, what we will do is we will go ahead and drop in all of the suspects' stories in the chat. So you will hear what they have said to the investigators and what their official story was. And then from there, you all will be able to pick a specific client that you will be essentially arguing for. And you might get some additional side information. So, who would like the elf named Claude? Dove
I'll
takes
take
it. Who would like the dwarf named Mick?
Take him.
Okay. Who would like the drow Drix?
I'll take him.
So-
Oh,
Then I'll
sorry,
take
Ian.
Sarsaparilla. No, I'll
Okay.
take Sarsaparilla.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and drop their stories in that order. And if you guys haven't noticed, I have changed the order that I mention these people so that you don't think I'm giving any kind of favoritism here. One of these people committed the murder. You'll get a few minutes to read this, and then you will be able to argue on behalf of your suspect of whether or not you think they did it.
Before like the full court argument, can we have like a group discussion?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So this is... Oops, Claude. Claude the Elf. There you go. I'm just going to post it again so it's below it. That is his story, and in the interrogation, they were asked 2 questions. What of the victim? And what are your skills with poisons, alchemy, and weapons? Then we have sarsaparilla. And then we have Mick.
Whoa, okay. Let me scroll back up.
Sorry. And then lastly, we have the Drow Drix.
All right. Lore dump.
Expensive skinny jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naked face. I love this.
I appreciate that. I wrote a lot on what this
These are
was, how
funny.
this worked.
These are funny.
I'm glad.
Oh, and they glow.
Yep, I want to know the command word now.
This court case was 2,000 words I wrote for you guys.
Nice.
Wow.
I put in a lot of effort and had it
Love
reviewed by
this.
someone who knows crime just well enough to be like, this just wouldn't work, so. So if you'd like, I can read out the finer points of each one of their cases, but I thought it would be easier if you guys kind of read it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, we've been reading it, or I've been scrolling through it, reading it, so.
Okay. Right. You guys ready to talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we should discuss, I think, for a minute here. Thoughts?
He owes everyone money.
Oh, yeah, I did. Well, no, I think the only one he doesn't owe money is Sarsaparilla, right? Because he offered him a job. Otherwise, yes, he owed everybody else some type of money. In some form or fashion, he owed them something. I think Sarsaparilla was the only one he didn't owe anything to.
I'll be back in a minute.
Unless I misread that. Which you can let me know, Dub, if I misread that.
I'm trying to see. It looks like everyone knew him except for Sarsaparilla.
Yep, I did see that.
But whoever did the alchemy wasn't probably that great with it either.
Well, I don't know. Judging on the arrows, like, the person with the bow wasn't probably that great. Yeah, they got about 3 hits on him, but there's over 4 hits in the wall over here with an arrowhead that was set to the wall. So, like, they missed 4 times but hit only 3 with someone staggering out of a burning building, it seems like, maybe. But I could be wrong on that. You know, you're an expert with the bow. What do you think?
Gosh, I mean, it took 3 shots to take the person down.
You know what? I'm sorry. There is a piece of advice, or not advice, evidence that was not clearly stated. This all happened at night, which is why the person was wearing sleepwear.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that could account for the missed shots, considering it was dark. If you wanted to take that into account, but Uno, what are your thoughts?
I mean, if we consider the fact that it was dark, then I mean, Claude can see in the dark, a dwarf can see in the dark, a drow can see in the dark.
Can see in the dark, yeah.
Can a tiefling see in the dark?
Yes, they can.
Usually,
They're
yeah.
pretty good at seeing in the dark. I want to mention.
All right, so that's not much of a factor.
The ledger. Now, a lot of the documents did fall apart, but there was a ledger on the desk that had Claude's name in green, Mick's name was in green, Sasparilla's was in red, and Drist was in red. I'm not sure if that has any correlation, but it seemed quite odd to be that way, and I'm not sure if that was the person whose murder's point of view on everybody. Like, the people in red were, he didn't really know them. People in green, he did. I don't know.
People in green he owed money to? Wait, who was in green again?
Claude and Mick are in green. Sarsaparilla and Drist were in red.
Interesting. Now, does that mean like people in red owed him money, or he owed them money?
And that's where I wasn't sure, because I was only able to glance a little bit at it before it almost disintegrated in my hand, so no. And I do apologize, but I wasn't as gentle as I should have been. Now, I do have the arrowhead as well as evidence, so we can also examine the defendant's arrows, maybe. I'm not sure if that would help. That might give us more concrete value.
Oh, I find myself in a conundrum.
I mean, it is
We
a bit
just-
confusing, you know?
We could zone of truth them.
I'd be happy to. I'd be delighted to.
Nope.
I love that.
Alex
You're
is
not
like, no, that's
torturing and
freaking
interrogating the...
Damn it, Alex. Let me torture somebody.
You have enough evidence to convict somebody.
All right, if I'm looking at just the basics, right? Just the basics. The person who has the most skill and the most ability is Mick, the dwarf. Now, here's the thing. Ira said this person did not seem to know what they were doing, right? With the alchemy part of it, with the explosion, with the device. So it sounds like it was a novice. So
It's not Mick then.
if you have Mick, he's really great at alchemy and poisons, not very good at a bow, I feel like it kind of draws him out because he doesn't have the skills. The bow was decently fired, not perfect, but the alchemy was shit. And the poison, while a good poison, and you can buy a good poison. You know? A decent poison. It's not hard to come by. Thoughts?
I think you've done some great detective work. I do have a bit of a bombshell.
Drop it. What you got?
I've got to say, someone has contacted me and has attempted to extort me with bribery and false claims about morality.
Oh, God, no.
And has
Welcome to
encouraged me
politics.
to frame someone who is innocent.
Mm.
Now,
I
my
love
question
that.
for you all is, what's the most important thing here? Is it finding the killer,
I mean,
Or is it fulfilling one's role as a public figure?
all right, now you're gonna
I
have to
think-
clarify because why would you
I
say
think
that?
if someone's trying to, I think you should tell us who's doing that. Just as
I mean, I don't really
friends.
care who's doing that. I mean, if as your friend and a companion that I hope you value, I would love to know just for my own sake. But
okay, I have a question. Is it someone involved in this case, or is it an outside source?
Oh yeah, someone involved in this case.
Okay.
I've
specifically
received
involved in this
private
case?
contact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, Uno. Why would you think that there's a difference between making sure someone stands trial and takes action for someone else's murder versus the acts and duties of being a lord and a senator in this area? Why are those two mutually exclusive in someone's view right now?
I don't know. I guess. And then Uno's gonna like tap into the earrings. Say, right, so like my client totally confessed to me, said that they did it, and to not say anything because I have a moral obligation. But like I feel like it's like cheating in some way. But like come on, like they said they'd give me 500 gold if I blame someone else. But like that's not me. That's not my style. If they did it, like they've got to like
And Izza's gonna tap in your ear
Pay
and
for it.
say, Uno, did they tell you why they did it? Or did they just say, I did it? Don't let them blame me. Any clarification on this?
No, they. Let me look back through my correspondence.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time.
There was a disagreement with them over like business dealings, allegedly. But also here's the thing: is I opened up by saying that I'm a liar and you can't trust anything that I say. So how do I know that this isn't lying? There's also part of why
Maybe
I've been hesitant, but also like I don't know.
defend him how you should, right?
Yeah, defend him
As
the
your due diligence,
lawyer.
right?
I agree.
Well, but
But
like
you do not have to put so much Uno into your due diligence.
But like from my understanding, like if someone confesses a crime to you, like
No. Okay, no. Let me clarify this for you. If someone confesses a crime to you, it is your obligation as their lawyer to do everything you can to defend them. It is client lawyer privilege that you do not have to tell anyone anything. You do not have to blame anyone. You don't have to give any names. Yes, we now know that you know this, but we don't actually know any specifics about it. You can protect them as much as you feel is necessary to represent them. Your job as their lawyer is to make sure they get off. Your job as the lord of the area is to decide if this is a necessary crime or not. I mean, you're getting all the money, We're here as your counsel to guide you.
I also think that, like, by bribing me, like, they've made me potentially complicit to all of this. I don't want my hands dirty.
Then don't take the bribe.
Don't take the bribe. Defend them, but don't throw anyone else under the bus.
Defend them to the best of your ability, and whatever happens, happens. And advise them that that's the truth of it. You don't need the bribe. You are still going to defend them as their client, even though you know the truth. And you're going to make sure that you do the damn best job you can.
Who's going to be the judge on this?
Yeah, that was a question.
All of you.
All of us?
Yeah, this is the lawyers make the decision, isn't this, Alex?
You guys determine who is guilty.
Yeah, I forgot. This is the weird one.
Well,
where you get it.
Someone trying to bribe Uno? Is that what's
Yeah,
happening?
the killer
client.
confessed to Uno and he wants to bribe him.
Sarsaparilla?
Well, then here, we're earring communicating.
Yeah, we're totally hearing.
No, not all of us are.
Sorry, Aaron.
Ira doesn't know what's going on yet. We're gonna have to tell her in a second.
I mean, that just makes it easy. That way we can convict him. And he doesn't know.
But here's my thing. It was a disagreement, right? What if we don't take the bribe, obviously. But what if we don't treat this as like a true murder trial? I guess someone's dead. Yes, it was a disagreement. But
Oh, what if we
the
dismiss the
punishment-
case and then go kill him
Well,
ourselves?
damn, Dove. I would love that. I mean, if you're down for that, I'm down for it. But I was actually thinking of something a little different in regards to like a community service type situation where like not everybody gets blamed, but everybody gets blamed. Does that make sense? That's a little weird. It's convoluted, but
Miss, why we're trying to not blame the murderer?
well, Uno is such a prominent figure.
So now we start the deliberation process.
Wait, no. Can we
Who do you
still
guys think did it?
Can we still be discussing not in court?
Oh, it's not going to be the same as a formal court proceedings. You guys just decide who did it.
Okay.
As it's getting late in the session,
We
I'll
already
need an
did.
answer in the next 13 minutes.
I missed the discussion. I was trying to.
My client did not do this. I will defend them to the death.
There's no court. It's just you guys.
No.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
you
literally
four.
us.
We're yelling to each other. My client did not.
do this.
Uno, why do you care? Why are you trying to defend them if you know they're guilty?
Because
it's his
these two
job.
told me that I had to.
Why?
It's
Why are you
legal
listening to him?
It's his legal obligation as
Because-
a lawyer to defend them.
No,
He
I
doesn't
want
want.
Uno to answer. Hang on.
I don't know. Like, are there even laws in this place? Like about?
No.
I don't know. Nobody like told me. Gave me
You
the walkthrough.
You're in charge of this place. Why are
Oh
you?
shit! I am the law.
Can I insight check Uno?
Yes.
Is he like being controlled?
Roll insight on
somehow?
Uno right now.
That's not a
With
good-
your amazing insight, you can tell he is confused as fuck and cannot hold it in.
That is true.
Are you like being controlled right now? Why do you care so much about this random person who killed one of your citizens?
But this isn't one of our
It
citizens.
wasn't technically his citizen. It
Yeah,
was.
this is a completely different district.
Sarah's
This has
citizen.
nothing to do with us. We were asked to be an impartial.
You care
judge.
about him.
Era, I want people to like me. I want them to think that I'm doing a good job. I want them to tell me that I'm a very capable boy.
You are
Do
a
you
very
think-
capable boy.
Do you think more people will tell you that if you let one murderer escape, or if you find the murderer and tell everyone who it is so everyone can tell you you're doing a good job?
I like
Guess you
the
make a
idea
good
of
point.
killing him after.
I
the fact,
failed
like
as a
us.
lawyer, but I've succeeded as a senator. And an
I think we should go
investigator.
kill him, like Dove says. That's a good idea, Dove. I like Dove's idea.
Wait, why are we killing?
Just because we can.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Oh come on,
Maybe.
Dove,
So-
really?
We're saying sarsaparilla, your client, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it was them.
I mean, they
Who do you
confessed.
think it was?
I think it was Drix.
Why do you think it was Drix?
Well, they're good with a bow. They know about alchemy ingredients, but they were sold terrible ones by Mick.
Well, if they were good with a bow, it wouldn't take them 4 shots to take someone down.
Yeah, it took them. more than
Especially
4
when they can
shots.
see in the dark.
And Drix can see in the dark. Yeah.
And they're an
go way back.
exceptional alchemist. So they
Well,
wouldn't
yeah, but
be.
They were given really bad ingredients. Mick said that he sold really, really
Yeah,
bad
but-
ingredients to somebody.
But
In his
Ooh.
words, a tall female.
Drix is also like recuperating and recovering
Gonna-
everything, so he doesn't actually need to. There's no reason for him to have killed the victim.
Why would
They've done business for many,
why would
many
Sarsaparilla
times.
have killed him then?
Sarsaparilla had bad business dealings with him. She ran off with some of his money. And they're going to like open a business together.
Also, clarification: Drix is male, and sarsaparilla
Yeah.
is.
Also, remember our clients can lie to us, so the information
No, I
we've received
under-
from them could be false.
Yes, I understand that. I just all of the clients are male. I'm assuming to Mick, the closest to a female would be the fancy dressed drow.
Alex, are they all whatever, male or female?
They are all male.
Thought Sarsaparilla was a lady. My mistake.
It says he on all of the things, so
I did that for a reason.
I did not read closely enough.
It's all
I
good.
mean, I would assume that, like, I mean, if Mick's gonna mistake someone for a lady, it's gonna be the one in the fancy clothing. Looks a little more feminine.
Alright, so now we have to weigh this argument versus a confession that was... But you have to take my word that the confession was actually made, and maybe I'm making things up, because I
Right,
want
that was the other thing. I was wondering
go down.
if the person that's saying that they killed the person is covering for someone else.
Oh, shit. Can we just say they're all guilty and
Tell them to go fuck
No,
themselves? Yes, I
because
like
we're
that.
not going to put a
them
guilty.
also?
Tell them to all just go to prison for 5 years.
We're not going to put an innocent person in. That would. Be
I would
messed up.
love
You
to
could
put
just
an
say
innocent
there's
person
not
in
enough
jail.
evidence.
Oh, come on. Are
No,
gonna
we
do
need
that
to
American
find-
way? Sorry. That's what we had to do at
You're
the last
good.
trial.
What?
Don't worry
Oh.
about it. I'm just talking with myself now.
All right, let's go back to there were crystals and there were names with colors.
Yep, there were names with colors. The names are
Mix
green.
Axe was locked in the front door. So
All right.
whoever was
And
inside the
this-
house couldn't get out, right?
This has
Nick
gone on long enough.
says-
I'm in continued conversation with my client. I asked them, will you kill again? And they said, I just can't stop.
Okay.
I'm a little worried now. Is sarsaparilla
That's,
okay? Did we get them a clinical evaluation?
Well,
Alright.
Mick did say that he donated his axe to the war effort, and Sarsaparilla came here after the battle, so it makes sense that Sarsaparilla would have.
Right, and
The
it's a
axe.
framing element, technically, if you think about it, by using
Alright.
that axe.
I mean, I think
All right.
it's
Let's
convenience, but
I plead insanity for
yeah,
for my-
let's put them in jail
client.
for now. Yeah.
Can we just hang
At least get
Okay.
them locked up.
So who
Wait,
are you
guillotine them?
convicting?
I want to guillotine somebody.
Sarsaparilla.
Nick, is your client sarsaparilla? Can you confirm or deny this?
He can't.
I think I can confirm.
Like who your client is? Yeah, probably.
I was gonna say.
I'm not-
Your
Is it
client
anything
is
anymore?
Sarsaparilla.
Thank
I
you.
Who
mean,
is
we-
everyone voting to convict?
And here's the thing: none of us have had conversations with any other of our clients. That's my thing.
And you're not going to.
Oh, thanks, Alex.
So the question is, who are you going to convict?
I will follow Dove and Ira's lead on whoever they decide.
Oh.
Green is a little fried.
Are you guys ready to vote?
Yes.
Yep.
sure.
Yay.
Dove, who do you vote to convict?
Sarsaparilla.
Ira, who do you vote to convict?
I guess Sarsaparilla.
Issa? We have a holdout on Issa. Issa? What are your counter arguments?
Hmm.
Happening.
It's frustrating. Sarsaparilla and Drick's name were in red, while Mick and Claude's name were both in green. I want to lean towards Sarsaparilla because, seems to be in contact with his client and seems to, but Drick's is also in red. And so I feel like there's some connotation there. So I kind of want to vote towards Drick's. Just to be a counter argument on this situation.
What evidence would you have for Drix?
Drix is very good with a bow. They're very dexterous. That's why their garments are so fine. According to them. They say they don't know poisons. But I don't believe that. I mean, you can purchase any good poison anywhere. And they're very intelligent and exceptional. But, finding the right resources to make such a bomb, well, I mean, you have to be able to still and compact them together. So finding scraps to create something that probably wasn't the best quality would be a possibility for them with ease.
Can I say I think that they're probably all guilty.
They are not all guilty, I can assure you of that.
I just don't like being led by one person saying their client is saying that that's who it is, you know? I mean,
It could be another client saying that to them.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh shoot! I didn't even verify where this
Pretending.
message came from.
Yeah.
I abstain. I feel like I'm compromised.
All right. So who do you think did this?
Did not get enough time to investigate this. I don't know.
Now,
I
the
think it's
biggest thing for
specific.
me about Drix is he suffered a lot during the wartime. Wartime's hard, and he's part of the clothing district, and not a lot of people are offering to make fine clothing. Now, he's just saying he's recovered, but, you know, if he did owe some money to the murdered individual and was in the red with them, then one way to clear that to allow him to gain money, which he says he has gained, would be to just get rid of them.
Yeah, it's like I want to know. There's receipts for him making payments to other people. What date was that on? Like,
Right. And if
is
it's
that
a big
after the
enough
murder or
debt,
before?
you know. So, and they were found with only a dagger, which makes no
Because
sense
they got rid of the
considering
murder weapon.
that the bow is something they say they're very good with and they're very dexterous. I mean, come on, think about it. If you're really good and you're very dexterous, why don't you have a bow and you only have a dagger?
Because they were just hanging out in a tavern.
But he also has receipts saying that he's paid people back. So obviously he is trying to clear his debt, but what if his largest debt was with the person that was murdered and they just murdered them to get that out of the way so they could continue forward?
So who are we voting to convict?
I mean, they don't have any warrants, but they do have several investigations for shady business practices. So that's one of the reasons why I think Drix is...
All right, we're going to go by popular vote. One for Sarsaparilla. Anyone else?
I vote for Drix.
If I'm believing my client and going off the evidence, honestly, the things that match the most are Claude.
One for Claude. Dove, deciding vote. Who are you voting for?
Sarsaparilla. I thought that was clued
So
in.
wait,
Yeah.
so Uno and Dove are voting for Sarsaparilla. Ira is voting
right.
for Claude,
Claude.
and Iza is voting for Drix. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, well, there you go.
And with that, Sarsaparilla is convicted of a murder he did not commit, as Uno was being manipulated by Drix, who was a high-level magic caster and clearly the smartest person in the suspect group.
Shit, I knew it was Drix.
If you actually read over his information, there was
That's why I was
a lot
triple-checking
of different
it.
things.
He
He
has so many
owed people money.
inconsistencies.
He had shady business practices. He was known for being quick to anger. He was high class and wanted everyone to know it. Evidence found with him was a dagger that involved lightning, letting you know that he was a powerful spellcaster. He owed money, but had a bunch of money on him. He could cast up to 4th level spells. And then in the interrogation, he was like, oh yeah, I'm good at all these things because he was. So he had experience. He knew what he was doing. He just bought shitty ingredients to cover it up.
Yep.
And the tiefling was a compulsive liar, clearly stated. Every piece of information he had was a lie, especially the part where I'm like, I'm telling you the truth.
That's a lie.
And the only thing I'm not lying about is this sentence right here.
Wow, that's actually fun.
Hey, you know what?
I thought that would be a fun little thing right there, just to be like, everything is a straight up lie that he says. And if you reread his entire interrogation, everything is a lie. But he's a tiefling, and he's an outlander. Or is he?
But this is also how justice works.
It really is.
That's
The
true.
classy guy with the most money and the highest intelligence usually gets away with it.
Oh, my client's a dick.
All right. Well,
If you followed the evidence, and you guys were done a disservice as you missed 2 key pieces of evidence. The ledger that was destroyed had exact amounts in there that would have matched up to what 2 people were saying, and you would have been able to get a little bit more information out of that. And there was another piece of evidence that you guys didn't quite get, where you just didn't roll high enough. And if you had correlated those 2, you still had enough. Had enough. And You figured it out. Yeah, you were looking at the evidence, not the confession, and what a compulsive liar was saying.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't think he would bring that to the group. I didn't think he would bring that to the group. I didn't think he'd be like, boom, because that would have polluted everyone's thinking. If he would have kept that quiet, I think you guys would have figured it out. But that was part of the fun, is this is real world, is what happens when you have a crazy person in the... in the pool of suspects, and this person is legitimately crazy. You can't trust anything they're saying. Crazy people get convicted a lot. This is very real world.
That's why my defense was insanity.
I mean, you did plead that they were insane, so I don't disagree on that.
But well done for figuring it out, Issa. You followed the evidence, not the people.
He's such an ass. My client was such an ass.
He really was, yeah.
I
know you wanted to convict him, and I was trying to give you this one. The asshole did it!
But I mean, and I kept double checking it because I was like, I trust Uno. But the problem is my client. Alright, anyways, moving on.
Oh, that was good. I thought that was very fun. A case study in actual justice. And with that, your requirements to the state are done, and we can get on to more exciting things because we did our paralegal episode and our tax law episode. With that, we'll conclude things tonight and go into craziness next week.
Yeah.
Huzzah!
So
They asked us to solve a murder, and we solved it.
in the best way.
You did. I
possible,
mean, to be
right?
fair, you probably got the right person off the streets. Just not the murderer.
That's okay. We're murderers too.
It felt wrong to convict a murderer.
Oh, but
Yeah,
I would,
no,
I
I totally
would
get it.
honestly probably punched my client in the face, off to the side, away from everything once it was done. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he was horrible. Everything about him was terrible. And poor Mick was just a victim of circumstance.
Oh,
All right. Well, everybody say bye.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
We out?